So I think where we left off was with you guys leaving the Cavish Theatre, the empty shell of what used to be the Cavish Theatre, this big marble and stone theatre in Suzail that hasn't seen performance in a long, long time. After being kind of directed in that direction by Anya's cousin, Armand, and on the trail of Samara, your pseudo father figure, Averrundax, who you've been kind of half searching for, half like avoiding for a little while now. So you're heading towards. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be getting this wrong. I think you are heading towards the society to see if Durin, the butler, had managed to secure your adventuring licenses. And then after that, I believe you guys are heading out of Suzail. So we'll start there. We'll start with you guys making your way from the Cavish Theatre. So at this point, I'm foggy on the exact detail, but I believe it's probably very late afternoon, bordering evening at the time you're leaving the Cavish Theatre. Because earlier in that day, you'd been to the Leaning Post. You'd been hanging around in the Cavish Theatre for a fair amount of time, or outside it for a fair amount of time, and then you'd went in. You'd been to the Leaning Post before that, and then before that, I think you guys had been to the market and everything. And Eartha, you'd been to see a smithy about forging some things. So it's been a bit of a day, not so much doing stuff, just bouncing into different districts of the city, so a lot of foot time. So you guys walk through the nice, prim, pristine streets of Suzail, the nice cobbled paths, the low marble walls, the wrought iron fences, and the nice topiary gardens that line most streets. And as you get to this time, a lot of the lights begin to turn on inside people's houses from windows, and the street lights as well. Some magical, some firelight as well. And you eventually come to the former manor house, this big luxurious mansion, surrounded on the front by a cordoned off with brick wall and iron fence, a courtyard, but the gates are currently open. So you guys head through the gates as you had the last time you'd been here, and you arrive at the front doors of this. Before it had been given to the Society of Stalwart Adventurers was just a person, like a noble's manorial estate. So yeah, you're at the front door. Are you guys just heading in, or are you knocking or anything? What's the take the lead on this?
I mean, we've been before. We'll just head on in.
Yeah. So the door is unlocked, and you push in, and you see the familiar. I mean, I guess lobby, but it's not like a lobby. It's more like kind of like I said the last time, one of those like kind of comfortable hotel lobbies where it's got like sofas and tables and chairs, and there is a reception area, but it's kind of like a comfy, clean marble walls, kind of like this beige alabaster marble, with the veins running through it, and nice kind of dark oak trimming everything, and then these leather sofas here and there with small coffee tables, usually grouping them together. You see, kind of just wandering around, is Durin, the tiefling butler who you'd become acquainted with the last time you were here. He seems to be the only person around at the minute. The last time you'd spoken to Jasper, which I think was the previous night, in game time, he told you he would be unavailable for a few days on business with the society, and it does look quiet in here. But Durin kind of immediately clocks Samara, you entering first as you open the door, followed by Anya and Eartha, and Jade as well. And as you guys enter, he's a little bit of a distance, so he kind of like waves you at first, but he does begin walking to meet you in the middle. And he's like, hello, how have you all been?
Good. Have you sorted out our adventuring, whatever they're called?
Yes, they're just over behind the counter. They're in a pigeonhole. Would you like them now? Are you in need?
Yeah. I think we're planning on either sleeping then heading, or heading now.
Oh, rush order. Very, very good. They came back this morning. I'll get them now. And he kind of runs off to the reception area, where you see him like behind the reception area, kind of, I guess, hotel-like. There's like pigeonholes for people's mail, and he kind of looks through one and he looks through the other until he finds what you assume is probably Jasper's, and he takes 3 envelopes out, and he brings them over to you, handing one to each of you. Yeah, they're currently in envelopes, but you can crack them open and have a look at them if you want. But otherwise, you have these sealed, like envelopes sealed with a wax stamp.
Also, I mean, it's kind of an adventuring place. I know you most likely don't go out yourself since you work here, so to speak. But how familiar are you with maps?
Well, I do a lot of what's the word? HQ work for the society when we don't often have visitors, so there's not a whole lot of bustling to actually do. So I do a lot of map reading and not field-based pursuits. Yes.
I'll turn to Eartha. Do you want just get the map out?
Oh, yeah. I'll reach in the bag of holding, pull out the map that I drew using drugs, and ask him if he knows roughly where about this is in correspondence to the town. Hillip, was it?
Hill, yeah. So he takes it from you, and he kind of brings it over to one of the coffee tables where he sits in an armchair, and he kind of rolls up. So he's kind of wearing like dark suit pants and like kind of tall riding boots, and he's got like a white collared dress shirt on and a beigey brown like suit vest, and he kind of like unbuttons the cuffs on his shirt and begins rolling them up. So you can see in his arms as well as his face, he's got like bright red tiefling skin. Like a dark maroony, almost into black at times, tiefling skin, and these kind of curling horns on his head with black falling hair, and like a slight kind of the suggestion of a goatee, but not quite. Like it's just kind of hairs growing in at the minute. And he kind of like pushes these bifocal like glasses up his nose to their firm on his eyes, rolls up his sleeves, and he begins looking at it and kind of getting in close with the map on the coffee table. Well, Hilp is not far at all from Suzail. I'm not overly familiar with it. It's quite a small town. I've maybe passed through it once or twice, though I've never stayed long. It's probably about 2 days' ride from Suzail north. I'm not entirely familiar with the layout of... And he kind of begins orientating the map. Well, if this is the road from Suzail, it must be... It looks like the location you're heading is several hours west-northwest of Hilp, and the hills between Hilp and the King's Forest.
Thank you. It's greatly appreciated. We understand. You didn't really have anyone else to ask.
No, very good. And he kind of takes off his bifocals, his glasses, and kind of hangs them in the pocket of his vest. And he folds up the map and stands and gives it to you. And he's like, "So I'm sorry there are not more qualified members around to help, but the guild has called them all upstairs."
That's understandable. And I'll roll up the map and give it back to Eartha.
Sure. Is there anything else I can assist with?
Do you know any stories about a crypt? Specifically a crypt of dragons? Rumors, anything like that?
Crypt of dragons. Now that is... You know, now that you mention it, that does sound sort of familiar. I think there is some sort of urban legend of some kind about some farmers or merchants or something from a small town discovering a crypt with mummified dragons inside, something of the such. But I mean, many truths begin with the seed of urban legend and myth, but I haven't heard of it being true necessarily, though pursue that if it is where it leads.
Alright. That's what I was really wondering about.
You hear stamping. Like, you hear what sounds like... I'll just tell you what it is, because I can't even think of how to describe the sound. Imagine, you know, in like a kind of like a parliamentary situation when to like show approval or disapproval, a lot of people stamp at the same time. You hear from up above you what sounds like dozens, if not 100 people stamping in unison above you. And you see like a faint like shimmer of dust kind of fall from the ceiling, and he kind of like brushes it off the counter and off his sleeves, and he's like, I'm sorry about that. The building is quite old, doesn't like the ritual. Yes.
That's safe.
It's more repairable than it is safe, I suppose.
No.
What are they voting on stuff you're allowed to talk about or not?
Make a persuasion check. With advantage.
Ooh.
Because he
Could
kind of
be
likes you
nice.
guys.
Oh, not so good. 16.
16. I'm not supposed to tell anyone who's not affiliated with the guild. Though I suppose Lady Enderan here is a legacy member of the guild or the society by some estimation. And he kind of like leans over the reception counter, like indicating for you guys to like take a step forward as well and lean in. A former associate of the society, someone who used to be a member but is no longer. There is a rumor flitting around Suzale, and if we're unlucky, the wider region of Faerun, that he is in league with a rather unsavory woman, Vicandrus. Now, and he kind of like straightens up, and he knows he has to finish what he's saying because he doesn't want to be that guy, but he's like, oh, I maybe shouldn't have gotten into this. Vicandrus herself is rumored to be the leader of the Knights of the Five-Thorned Rose. Eartha, make a religion check. Samara, make a religion check with disadvantage.
Oh shit, baby.
Could you
Yeah.
repeat what the name of the group was called? The leader.
The Knights of the Five-Thorned Rose.
Ho ho!
Okay.
25.
Not that good. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Samara, you shift uncomfortably. And Eartha, you instinctually glance at Samara. And Durin notices this. The Knights of the Five-Thorned Rose, that symbolism, the five-thorned rose, comes from the 5 heads of Tiamat. The Knights of the Five-Thorned Rose are this like pseudo-legendary organization of 5 incredibly powerful individuals who act in the name of Tiamat. And Vicandrus, as Durin has just... Vicandrus, who is a dragonborn assassin priestess of Tiamat, has like long been rumored to be the leader of this cabal. You know, Eartha, being in the religious world, you've probably caught idle chatter about this from place to place, but you know, it's probably just one of those things where someone passes it on and you're like, oh wow, that sounds interesting, but you know, you don't store it in like your active memory because it's useless to you until it comes up and you're like, oh shit, I think I heard about that. And Samara, this is probably just some, you know, basing on information you've heard from Averrundax, from various books he would have had you read, and just from maybe some of the light reading you've been doing about Tiamat since your collision, you've probably picked up on some of this. So yeah, Durin kind of grimaces. So you can imagine the guild is The society is deciding whether they should. The society is not a. It's not a law enforcement department of any kind. They are willful members who all have a love of adventuring and exploring and the like. But they are deciding whether they should put a bounty on this individual's head, or even if they should go about hunting him themselves as recompense for associating with such a terrible figure.
Can I ask who this person is?
Make a persuasion check again.
I have a question for the DM.
Okay.
Can a god have more than one chosen?
You would know, yes. They can only have one avatar, like one person during the avatar crisis that they possessed, they became. But so for instance, right now, Shazar the Undying is also technically a chosen of Tiamat. There have been rumor, you've probably been doing some light research on Cyric, I imagine, since you guys started down this path. You know there's at least 2 people who have been rumored to be chosen of Cyric. A god can have a few chosen at the same time.
Right. Are you ready?
Yeah. I gave you that dice. This excites you. Did it betray you?
We got a 2 plus 4 is 6.
It betrayed.
He kind of he leans back from the reception and he's like,
Wait, I got inspiration.
Okay.
Shit, 11.
He leans back from the reception and he says, I am fond of you 3. You are quite entertaining. And he kind of gestures at Anya and because of the letter to you as well, Eartha. You clearly have the right to be here, but I do not wish it to be on my head that you got this information. Perhaps when Jasper is out of the assembly in a few days, you should talk to him about it.
Well, hey, if you need a bounty hunter, we're pretty good at tracking people down.
Well, I think they would rather not do it themselves. I think they are not looking forward to potentially getting involved, so that might be an attractive solution. Perhaps you should offer it when it comes around.
Can I turn to Eartha and with no regard of how serious this will sound to him, just go, oh yeah, I think we're already hunting him.
Durin kind of just...
They haven't offered us money yet.
It's a bounty. Anybody can collect it as long as they prove him dead.
But they haven't offered us how much money we need. There's no bounty yet.
Look, it doesn't matter. I don't think he's going to stop them from putting a bounty up.
Oh, no. Right.
So Durin kind of claps and he says, so you're heading to Hill next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking to leave tonight, I would suggest leaving as soon as possible before you lose all sunlight. Otherwise, I would leave tomorrow. You guys do know, you do know that Renault and his retinue, the older Hawkland brother, him and his retinue of retainers are also leaving tomorrow. Though I don't think you're aware of exactly what time.
Was it not midday?
That is correct. So I must have told you. So yes, yeah, you know he's leaving at about midday tomorrow. So you could try and get a few hours ahead, or you could try and get you could maybe march through a bit of the night if you wanted to, or you could you could go look for horses, a car, a wagon, a carriage, if you want to try and get anything like that.
If they're marching, we've got no incentive.
You don't know that they're traveling. You don't know the means by which.
There's a lot of them, and I don't think he's going to buy them all horses, although he very easily could. A lot of people, especially if they live here, they probably have their own horse. There's about 8 of them, from what you counted. Oh, yeah, only 8. I was thinking 20. Should we get a cart and just go? Because if we get 3 hours tonight...
Let me check the budget. I don't know
What
why.
do you mean the budget? We've got plenty of money.
We got 9,000. I don't know why I said we need to check the budget.
Let's go buy a car
Yeah,
and we
mine
can
fine.
go and get out. Because if we're out the city, there's a lot more we can do as well.
So, just so you guys are aware. Well, so we'll say, how about this? We'll say, is there anything else you guys want to talk to Durin about?
No.
No?
I'm good.
Then Durin will recommend a stable master to you that probably the society uses frequently. So you guys can go ahead. Would you guys like to do that? Try and talk to him tonight and purchase some stuff tonight, or would you like to do that tomorrow?
It's late afternoon now, isn't it? Not like...
It's probably about 4:35.
Yeah, like we can get good couple hours out there. If we pack up and set up tent at like 9-10, that's like 4 hours of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'll do that. We'll go speak to this dude and see if we can get another wagon and cart.
So I figured you guys would probably want to spend some money on some of this stuff, so I've drawn up a table. So yeah, the journey to Hilp is not so far that it could be pretty easily completed on foot. Just obviously, you don't know what mode of transport the older Hawkland brother and his retainers will be using. So if you walk and they use horses, they could overtake you. If you leave tomorrow and they leave, So a draft horse, so a horse meant for pulling a cart or a wagon or something like that. One costs from a Suzalan stabler, because you're in a big city, so things are a little bit pricier than average if you're buying them in a small town. So a draft horse is going to run you 75 gold pieces. A riding horse, so that's a horse you would get on the back of and ride, that's 100 gold pieces. A war horse, which is a horse that's been bred for being involved in battle, being ridden in battle and stuff, that's going to run you 500 gold pieces. A cart, so a cart is like a wooden cart with wooden sides and like a thing for the horses to pull. That's going to run you 30 gold pieces. A wagon, which is a cart but with like one of those white hoods over it, that's going to run you 70 gold pieces. And a carriage, which is like an enclosed thing that like a noble would go in. It's like an enclosed space that the horses drag along, which is like roofed as well. That would run you 200 gold pieces.
I think we get a wagon for privacy, but it's not. There's no point getting a royal one. I'm gonna break it. Like it's just ain't gonna happen.
Please don't break the wagon. But yeah, I'm down for a wagon.
So you guys could get one draft horse, or probably because there's 3 of you and Jade, you're probably looking at like you might want to get 2, just because of the weight. So you guys are probably looking at 150 for the 2 draft horses and a wagon, so that's 220.
Yeah, 220. That's worth it. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to try and barter with the stable master at all, or are you willing to pay the 220?
Would he drop down to 240?
Alright, let me do it. I got this. No, don't tell him to fuck off. Don't. He didn't say that.
Samurai, I'll give you advantage with helping.
Okay. I wanna say, if we're buying 2 horses and a wagon on top of that, that's not his voice. Surely we can a little bit of a discount. We're buying a decent bit from you here.
And I'll make a persuasion check with advantage.
I was gonna say buy one get one free, but I'll retract that before I say it.
I got an 18.
18. And you're from the society, you say?
Yeah. Yes. Do you know Jasper? Enderon? The society's named after him.
I know the Enderon. Oh, Jasper Enderon.
Yeah, this is his sister.
Oh my god. The ballad for my sister is one of my favourite songs. You see a tear fall from it, stare up in his eye, and splash against the dirt floor. 180 gold pieces.
Okay. Wait, I need a second because it's gonna be funny.
No, don't.
Push.
Look, how about this? You said 180, right?
Mm-hmm.
175 plus Jasper's sister. I'll sing you a song.
Make a straight persuasion check.
Oh no, 7.
Why the -5?
7.
You could have put so much more for a song. It's gonna cost a 5 gold to sing a song.
He kind of looks around and he's like, "It's getting quite late. I'm sure Miss Enderoun wants to save her cords for your days of travel ahead."
Right, okay,
177 gold pieces.
Yeah, I'll agree. 177.
He shakes your talon, and he, as you're like finishing the deal, he like goes out to shake your hand. And goes, it's an honor. And he shakes your hand quite firmly.
Did you shake my
so
hand?
you guys, nah, he's not.
I'm gonna.
You're the idiot who said 115.
I thought you said retract that. That didn't happen.
Didn't, but you're still an idiot.
So you guys have 2 draft horses, which you can, because it's a big city, he's probably got quite a lot of options. So, what would you guys like? Would you guys like piebald, single color?
Is there a blue one?
I want to get
No.
I want to get a grey white one and call it Salt Sea.
Oh.
Why wouldn't you call it?
I think Ajax has just figured it out.
I forgot his original horse was called Sea Salt.
Yeah.
It died so long ago.
So
I forgot he kicked the bucket.
you get like a speckled grey and white draft horse, sure. And anyone got any preference on the other one? Browns, blacks, a mix, anything?
I'll let Samurai decide because I've still got my horse back home.
Yeah, your house is having a great time in West.
Can we full black or like dark brown with like long hair? I want the hair on its head to just be like permed and down.
Sure. You find like this nice chocolate brown draft horse that has like a tiny bit of white like along like the nose. But besides from that, it's like, and it's got like a nice long black mane. But besides from that,
I point at the nose and then I look at the other two and I go, "Look, he's got a beak too."
That's cute. Yeah. So you guys have a wagon, like a wooden cart with a nice long bit of fabric draped over it, like one of those like Oregon Trail, like American Midwest wagons. And you have 2 draft horses, one called, I'm going to refer to him as Salty because I'm never going to say Salty. And Samurai, you can name the other one at your leisure.
Beauty Black.
Blackie. Don't call him Blackie.
Can I call her Black Pudding?
Black Pudding, very nice. Very nice. Salty Black Pudding, my favorite. How it was intended. So now I'm going to make someone look at a map. Would you guys like to head north via the Way of the Dragon or Kalantar's Way? There are 2 roads north of Suzail.
I need a map.
Where's the map?
The map. Where's the...
Kalantar's Way or the Way of the Dragon? Kalantar's Way, surely.
Yeah,
it goes straight to Hilp over that bridge.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hang on.
But why is he offered Way of the Dragon then?
Yeah, why is he offered?
Because I was kind of hoping you'd be like, well, we're looking for Averrundax, Way of the Dragon.
Go the wrong way.
Go in the complete wrong direction. Sure.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even looking at Way of the Dragon. I was looking at Dragon Eye Way, the one that goes across the coast.
Wrong direction. Yeah, one goes east, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you guys heading out on Kalantar's Way tonight, or are you heading tomorrow morning?
Yeah, let's get out the city tonight. I can't wait to find a troll under this bridge.
Shut up.
Oh.
So,
is that a foreshadowing I see?
I saw the bridge and I was like, oh well.
You don't know anything.
Is there 3 goats as well?
You don't shut up. You don't know. You're the three goats. Fuck one.
Oh, sure.
So,
I'm gonna cry.
we'll say by the time you guys have the amount of times I've seen Matt Mercer do that exact thing, now I know how it feels. By the time you guys have, took some time to inspect horses, inspect wagons, talk with the stable master, barter, walk to the stables, blah blah blah, and get them all set up, saddled, like bartered up and ready to leave. We're probably looking at like 5. So you guys are in the tail end of. Actually, no, you guys are you're in spring now. So sunset is probably like what, like another like hour or 2 away.
Yeah, like 6:30, 7:30.
Yeah. So, and you guys don't have to. You haven't done a lot today, so you guys can travel through the night, through a bit of the night if you wish. So yeah. So how long do you guys want to travel till sunset and then camp, or then reassess, or do you guys want to go a bit in? So actually, I should specify this. Sorry. So got a new system for this. So there are 3 of you. You guys can discuss. One of you has to be the driver, and one of you has to be the lookout. So a driver will make a animal handling check to be the driver, keep the horses in check, and go about your day. The lookout will be kind of keeping an eye on the surrounding landscape for anything interesting, anything dangerous. They'll make a perception check. But anyone who is being the driver or the lookout can't do anything else. So Samura, you can't craft any spells. Eartha, you can't craft your gun while you're in the wagon if you're one of those roles. So, and you don't have to. So you're looking at probably 2 days of travel. So you guys don't have to do the same thing each day. You can talk about if you want to swap at camp. Yeah. So, and Jade cannot be either, unfortunately.
What about Newt?
No, unfortunately.
I think technically, if we're leaving here at 5, we should ride until 9, a little way into the night. That's 4 hours. In 4 hours, Ellis can work on his gun, because that's how long it takes.
I'm happy to be the scout, because then I'll take first shift for night and use that shift. I can
fly.
I have incredible eyes, Jackson.
I know, but I feel like I'm going to get advantage for flying. Because I can fly up and then land on the cart again, so I won't fall behind.
It's up to you. I don't mind either way. And
I think Jess you should take it
that's
because
I'm driving the cart.
I have something for you to do after the cart, Ellis. So I need you available.
Right. Okay. Well, if we're riding for 4 hours, I'll spend 4 hours crafting up that gun then.
It works out.
So Anya is the driver and Samurai is the lookout. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah. So as you guys are leaving, Samura or Eartha and Jade, you guys climb into the nice shaded wagon. And you guys have had a cart and horses before. This is a bit nicer. The Cormyrian craft is a lot just more refined than the Baldurian make of the one you had last time. And the hood, you imagine, since you're into spring now, when it's kind of sunny during the day, you imagine this is probably going to keep some of that heat off your face. So Jade and Eartha, you guys climb in the back. Samara, did you say you wanted to fly behind?
I'll try and fly above, but obviously I'm not as fast as the cart, so I'll kind of do bursts. So I'll shoot up, have a look around, and then land back down.
If you want, you could kind of sit on the lip of the hood. You could just kind of sit on it, dangling your legs down off the front or the back.
Can I have Newt sitting in with us?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like if I fly up and down though, I can get a better view. So I'll fly up, and then I'll have 5-minute gaps between flying up and down. I'm not doing it constantly.
Sounds good. So we'll start with Anya. You're the driver. Could you make an animal handling check? I'll say with advantage because you've had a horse for a little while, so you've probably gotten a bit used to it.
10.
No, it's not particularly. These aren't particularly difficult checks. So yeah, 10. You're fine. You get the maximum, not the maximum, but you get the expected efficiency out of salty and black pudding. for the few hours of riding you're doing tonight. Four-ish hours of riding. So just to describe, so quite similar to the last time you traveled overland extensively in the Fields of the Dead near Baldur's Gate. Despite the scary name, this like hinterland outside of Suzail is quite similar. It's just kind of lush, rolling green hills in a lot of the directions. You can see kind of far to the northwest is a huge forest, which Samara, based on your conversation with Durin, you assume is the King's Forest. But yeah, it's quite a similar thing. The actual road you're traveling on is well maintained, but it's kind of like it's a cobbled stone, but like moss and grass is very much overtaking it. It's kept cut low, but in between the cobblestone, there is still like moss and grass growing in vinery and foliage growing in. But it's kept trodden, like probably from people walking over it and dragging carts over it, and livestock going over it, and even maybe some patrols cutting it down. The foliage is kept quite low, so it's very nice and easy to walk and drive on. The horses do well under Anya's driving. Samara, can you make a perception check with advantage?
21.
21. Could you roll a D100?
Oh shit.
I can, but I don't know if I want to.
This can either go good or bad, and I don't know how many bad you put in after the last
71.
time.
71.
It's a good number. It's a high number. I like 71.
There, you might not.
You guys reach 9 o'clock, and Samara, you kind of return from a brief burst of flying above the wagon and land at the back. You kind of fly in and land underneath the hood, and you say maybe we should pull over for rest now. It's getting kind of late. So you guys have gotten 4 hours out into the countryside. Would you guys like to make camp here about 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Cool. So tonight you will be camping by the roadside. Lush, vibrant Cormyrean hills, not too dissimilar to the hills in the Fields of the Dead where you had traveled previously, but these ones are, when you are traveling throughout the Fields of the Dead, it was kind of like late winter, bordering early spring. So, and you think just because of the area being the Fields of the Dead, it was kind of like this light green, but the grass here is like there's a verdant, like this lush dark green. And yeah, these rolling hills. It's been quite a not clear, not cloudy. It's kind of, there are clouds in the sky a fair amount, but you can still see the sky above you. You can see Selûne, the moon, and the tiers of Selûne, the asteroid belt that kind of scatters from it into the sky. And you can really see the stars and the moons in really crisp detail, finally away from, you've been in the city light pretty much for like 2 months solid, be it this city or that city. So it's nice to be like out in the countryside, fresh air, really no artificial light. Is there anything you guys would like to do? Irtha, did you say you wanted to... Oh, Samara, did you say you had something you wanted Irtha to do or something like that?
Yeah, I wanted to... Irtha, by the way, I wanted to talk to you.
Right.
So I know, where are your weapons? All of them.
My weapons?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah.
Including my arsenal I've got going.
The ones which are on your body, not in your bag.
Sword is on my hip. I have a trident on my back, along with a shield. I have a drow hand crossbow down one side, along with the bolts.
Right, that's good enough. I've got what I needed.
Do you not want the rest?
No, I don't care about the rest. I'll ask. Actually, I'll need them later, but that's the next thing. I don't need them right now.
Right.
You remember when I enchanted your shield?
Yes.
Can you show me it? I think I have a way of improving it.
Right. I'll take my shield off my back and give
but
it to you.
as he holds it out to me,
Oh,
while it's
no.
still in his hand,
Oh, no.
I
God.
attack the shield with Samura's
So,
thunder punch.
Irtha, make it Irtha, if you kind of saw this coming, would you try to get out of the way of it, or would you just let it happen?
I'll probably try brute force it, because he's actually he's doing exactly what I said, which is what's annoying.
Make a strength saving throw.
Wait until we get out of the city.
And tell us about Samura's Thunder Punch.
Natural 20.
Thunder Punch.
Natural
Let me
20,
get
very nice.
Ooh,
That's
I've
24.
managed to pull up everything apart from Samura's Thunder Punch. So, that's fantastic. Give me 1 second.
It's so annoying that I said to him, wait till we get out the city, then you can do it. I didn't think he was
Just doing
going
what you asked.
I didn't think he was going to
As
do it
soon
without...
as.
I didn't think there's not even a warning.
That's why I was like, we're gonna leave today, guys. We're gonna leave today. Oh, where are our characters again?
So in the folder where it says like chapter
Characters.
1.
Yeah.
Characters,
If this brings people to us, Jackson, I'm going to hurt you.
we'll get
hope you
there,
know
we'll
that.
get there.
Well, fine, that's fine. I'll live for them consequences. Samura's Thunder Punch. It's a 2nd level evocation spell. Punch an enemy with a melee attack, making a melee spell attack, entwining the force of thunder into the blow. If the attack hits, the target takes 3d6 thunder damage and are deafened for 1 minute. This can be heard from 300 feet away. So as the lightning crackles down my neck, along my shoulder, and down my arm, as I'm moving my fist, and I just plow it into the shield.
Okay, roll to hit with advantage.
That is
I think it's probably
19?
plus your... Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be plus my spell attack, presumably.
Yeah. 19.
Misses.
If I assume that... Oh.
Because I'm
Sure.
technically I'm wielding my shield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
but
that
he's
gives-
holding.
That gives me 20 AC.
He's holding it
20
out. What a little bitch.
Therefore, he
No, so-
misses.
No, like, you still hit, but you hit the shield exclusively.
Oh, I wanted to
Um,
hit the shield exclusively.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, but if you just hit his AC, you would have done damage to him.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of rear back, and yeah, these, because it's a thunder spell instead of a lightning spell. You know, it doesn't do lightning damage; it's thunder damage. Little sparks of blue and yellow electricity kind of flow up your arm as you go into the punch. And as you're kind of getting it out, you just kind of see what's happening, and you don't straighten your arms because you know if there's a lot of force behind it, it'll probably break them. So you kind of you kind of grab they kind of grab it from the back like that. One bent arm holding it back, one holding the side, as Samura's fist kind of slams into it. And yeah, there's this concave echo that just echoes throughout the countryside around you. There's no damage to the shield because it's magical now, so you can't, like, even the white paint with the red knight symbol painted onto it, none of it's damaged because the item is magical. But yeah, it's kind of like there's kind of like a bit of like friction smoke coming off it for a second as you kind of lower it to see Samura kind of grinning at you.
Can I be
Octo
shaking my fist
Yeah.
and go like blow onto my fist?
Yeah.
You know, I can't be mad at you, but I can at the same time. You did exactly what I said, but you could have waited till right when we were moving, not when we stopped, where everything's gonna come to us.
Anya's just like
You know.
Anya's just like enjoying her supper, just kind of watching you guys like ramble on each other.
Did you want me to break the cart?
I would have preferred you did it in the morning, right before we left.
Ah, right outside the city. Yeah,
No,
great idea.
I said, were you not listening? I said in the morning, not in the city.
Oh, I thought you... Anyways, look.
Yeah, moving on, right? Yeah, you've done. Are you happy now? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel satisfied?
Yeah, I mean, see what I just did?
Yeah, you hit the
anyways.
shield. Well done. You could have just said, and I would have held it properly.
What if, I didn't think you'd let me. What if, strength, like, you know, big macho man weapons? You've got, like, a great axe or, like, a big club? But, I mean, it would be better if you had 2 of them. But one will do. Sure.
What
you know,
for? Let me consult the list. But what for?
Jade?
Jade. She can have
For
this.
you to train her?
She can have this.
She
Don't
doesn't
have
know how
2
to
of
use them
those.
yet.
Don't have 2 of those. Don't have 2 of those. Thing is, here's the problem. I collect one of everything.
Yeah, preferably.
I think-
you only need one.
I think with Jade using the
She can have
Sidekick.
Yeah, but is she a warrior?
Yeah, she's a warrior in the sidekick.
I think she gets proficiencies as part of that, doesn't she?
I'll be honest. I only have her animated armor proficiencies written down.
Yeah, I think she might get like some weapons proficiencies as well.
She can. Oh, we can. Oh, wait. With this, the blood spear doesn't work for her, does it? It's only Cambions.
It might do because she's like a fighter, so like I think she'll
does-
probably have pretty
but
broad proficiency.
I know, but does the blood spear spell not only work for like Cambions, as it? Does
If the
does
sidekick is a
I don't
humanoid,
think so.
Let me check. Let me Google blood spear.
that's wizards.
Because it's from Curse of Strahd, so I don't think it's anything to do with.
How about I put D&D at the beginning of blood spear rather than just googling blood spear?
There's not a bunch of those knocking around.
I'm gonna need the
Um,
actual Tasha's PDF up here.
I'll find it.
I know
Oh,
the
okay.
page. It's 144. I've looked it up enough.
Okay, no worries.
142, I
I-
believe, actually.
I'm pretty sure sidekicks get like proficiencies as a character would.
I mean, if she
Because-
doesn't, I can give her the blood spear and I'll train her with me using a normal spear. Bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The blood spear, if you reduce a target to 0 hit points, you gain 2d6 temporary hit points.
I think actually,
I don't know if that's right.
You know,
but
I know I said this at first, but I know I literally told you like it probably would work. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the blood spear would at least require being like
Having blood.
yeah.
With
So-
all armor, and if it is humanoid or has a simple
we
or
could,
martial weapon in its stat block, it gains proficiency with shields and all simple and martial weapons. So does it count as
Ah.
humanoid?
No, it's a construct, even though it is humanoid. That's,
So it doesn't.
that's
So Ellis would
right.
have to train it. Well,
I bet
mean,
we've had this exact conversation before.
probably is. But Ellis, you could use the blood spear or the normal spear, and she can use the other one. She just doesn't get the benefits. It's just a spear.
Nah, I can give her something more suited to her. She's big, spiky kind of.
I'll tell you this much. Something that doesn't require a lot of agility, like an axe or a mace,
Yeah. I was gonna
something
say a
that's just like big.
I was gonna say a morning
Steel.
star.
A morning star, yeah, I would say training with that wouldn't take anywhere near as long as like
I mean, it has no properties. It's not a finesse weapon. It's not two-handed.
Yeah.
It's just there.
yeah, hit it, yeah.
So I can give her the morning star, and she can use that. Can't remember where I got
Yeah,
it from.
go for it.
but
Go for it. If you could just train her with the morning star, and then I can.
I'll give her the morning star, and I'll train her. And I'll pick up a stick and pretend that I'm using like a morning star with a stick.
If she just hits you on accident, you're gonna like hurt.
Oh right, I didn't know she was hitting me. I was going to run through the basics, but alright.
I mean, it's up to you how you train her. I guess that's not on me to say.
Start with the basics, you know, like teaching her to swing properly first.
Fair enough.
So, in the beginning, every time, are you doing this tonight?
On my watch, yeah.
Sure. So, if you realize it first, like after Samara and Anya have went to sleep, and you kind of walk like 2 minutes away from the camp, so you're not waking them up or anything, but you're doing training with Jade, and Jade kind of takes some like pulling to actually leave Samara. She keeps being like, no, that I stay here, and you're like, no, come on, and she eventually does, and every time you're like, okay, so do this. She kind of looks at you for a second, or what you assume is looking at you. It's just like a helmet, and then it like swivels back towards the camp, and she kind of like points towards the camp, and then you're like, no, like we're doing this, and then eventually she does kind of go along with it. But yeah, it kind of, you don't get as much training done that first night because she's like, no, I need to be over. You don't get it. I need to be over there. You don't get it. I need to be with him. But eventually you do get some stuff done. And she's not a lost cause, she's got a lot of strength behind her, so she does take to the Morning Star pretty quickly.
I mean, it's not hard. You pick it up and
Yeah.
you swing it.
So you think probably a few more nights of training, you can probably get the proficiency in her.
It's fine by me.
Yeah. So if you're taking first watch, who would you make a perception check?
Calculator, cause I'm thick.
That That works out quite well because it increases Jade's damage from a D6 to a D8.
32.
32.
Yes.
Roll a D100.
Oh shit. Hang on, let's get one out.
Don't mess it up,
Idiot.
I'm not you, Jackson.
little silly boy.
64.
64.
64.
Okay. Your watch passes without interruption.
I don't
So
like
how long is your watch?
Well, it depends what time they want to get up, but whatever an even 3 watches is.
Oh, it'll be like 4 hours each. Well, it'll be like 3 hours each, actually, to get 9 hours.
Yeah, we'll say 3 hours. So if who would you like to wake up for second watch? If Samurai.
Would we not agree on this that before everyone goes to sleep, or
Nah, we didn't talk about it.
didn't talk about it?
Yeah.
You gotta decide.
I'll wake Anya.
Yeah.
Because
So
then
Anya,
she has a bit more sleep before we get going again in the morning. Whereas I feel like being a dick to Samurai, where he has to have extra hours up because he punched me without warning.
I got 6 hours. It's not bad.
Anya, you feel Eartha's foot kind of kicking against you lightly to rouse you from sleep, and yeah, you come to. So make a perception check.
12.
12. Okay. Your watch passes with no interruption. So then, Anya, you rouse Samurai from sleep and head back to get a few more hours before you guys head off tomorrow morning. Anya, is there anything you want to do on your watch, or are you just on watch and then go back to sleep?
No, I'm just on watch.
No worries. Actually, to be fair, I should probably start looking at this. So, just in general, while you have like a few hours of, you're not talking with anyone, you're just kind of thinking by yourself. You probably realize, like, maybe not now, but soonish. You should probably start thinking about this song that you're supposed to compose for the college. So do you have any? You don't need any concrete ideas because you're nowhere near the point of needing to have anything like that. But like, do you have any ideas what you want the song to be about? Do you want the song to be about your whole adventure, or do you want it to be about even things that haven't happened yet, or do you want it to be maybe a specific part of it, or maybe a specific person's journey, like your own or someone else's, or about a specific person or a creature or something like that? Do you have any early ideas just while you have a few hours of
I remember Anya, like, I remember she was starting the conversation. It was like a few games ago. I can't actually remember, but she was just starting it out. I think my whole idea was to just have it about the whole adventure, not like anything specific.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So, acknowledging that, you've probably got a few more months at the least before you have to hand in that final assessment. So you're aware that a lot of, if not maybe even like half of or most of this song hasn't even happened to you yet. But you spend the 3 hours kind of reflecting on your adventures around Baldur's Gate, your adventures around Westgate, and the adventures you've had so far around Suzail, going out to the countryside, and thinking about what adventures might come next, wherever you might go. And yeah, you kind of think of some loose rhymes, like, oh, this rhymes with, oh, dragon and wagon, there you go. And you're putting some things together. You come up with a few melodies. You kind of string on your violin a few times, try a few different melodies in your voice, and yeah, you make a little bit of progress. So yeah, you wake up Samurai and you head to bed for a few more hours. Samurai, make a perception check. Roll that perception check for me, Samurai.
You know what? I'm alright. That's a 15. I think it's a 15.
Okay. Roll a D100.
Wow, look, I'm just improving all the time. 71 last time, 72 this time. I'm just getting better.
It's rigged.
Okay. Samurai,
Dice.
For the sharpshooting pain.
It's counting, I don't like that.
Samara, your watch ends at 6 a.m. So you watch the sun crest over the horizon. My brain is dying. The sun rises in the east, doesn't it? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the sun rises from the east. The right of the road you're traveling down. Right, you watch it kind of break the horizon on the east as you kind of just, probably like sit on like a rock or a tree stump or something like that, or like an old bit of fallen wall on the side of the road with Jade. Do you have Abba summoned at the minute? I can't remember.
No, I just never got round to it.
Yeah. So you and Jade just kind of like sitting on something, probably a bit of old fallen farmer's wall, and you watch the sun rise on the east. Nice orange dramatic sky. And today's weather is a little bit different than yesterday's. It's it's warm. Like immediately as the sun comes over, you feel like the chill of night just get brushed away. You're warmed pretty immediately by the sun, and you get the sense it's going to be quite a sunny and cloudless day. It was a bit breezy last night, but today seems pretty just warm, still, cloudless. Seems like a nice spring day ahead.
With my 6 hours of sleep, does that, because it's usually maybe 8 hours, do I get a long rest, or do I still need to go to sleep?
Yeah, we don't. Sure. Well, we'll like kind of budget a bit. It's roughly 3 hours.
Right. Okay. So I want to cast Disguise Self then.
Okay.
And I want to do it so that I look like the Bloodhawk who was actually like the Avatar during the Avatar crisis.
Caitlin, the older
yes.
one.
Yeah, it's the older one. And I want to go up to Earth's tent. And I'm gonna open it, and I think with Disguise Self I can make like my staff like look like her sword. I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you want me to check?
Double check, but I think you can make your belongings look like something else. I think that's the gist.
Make yourself clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings on your person look different until the spell ends. That's the first.
I'll allow it. Yeah. So your staff takes the form of you haven't seen that. You've probably never seen the blade of Caitlin's sword, so you kind of base it on the ones you have seen, but you've seen the hilt probably here and then.
And I'm gonna. Oh, I don't know if I can talk.
No, I don't think so.
No, I can't. Right, I'm gonna like whack Eartha like reasonably hard, just like on the leg.
Mm-hmm.
With a sword.
It's a staff. It just looks like a sword, but I'm gonna use the end of the staff, which is metal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just to wake him up.
Eartha, make a Constitution check.
Well, it's just straight Constitution.
Yep.
That's a 6.
6. Yeah. So pretty quickly, Eartha's like kind of backs up. So Eartha, you see Caitlin. You see this older woman. She's near, if not over 100, but she looks more like late 50s. She looks pretty good magically for her age, or divinely, I should say. She's got kind of like grey hair, kind of side of her head kind of shaved, and grey hair kind of over to one side, kind of a very faint bit of red still in some places. She's wearing this heavy blood red armor, not unlike your own, with kind of like a wolf's fur coming out of the top of the armor into like a half cloak down her back, and she's kind of tapping your leg with her sword.
I'm gonna stop and just stare for a minute.
I'm not making you make an insight check just yet, just because you've just woken up, so you're in that kind of like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm gonna turn around so my back's to him and walk away, but like walk around the tent so he can no longer see me, and work my way to Jade, trying to be light-footed, while he's still groggy. Just work my way to Jade, and like dismiss it, and just gonna pretend I'm just sat with Jade.
Okay.
Possibly.
make an insight check with disadvantage just because you've just woken up.
Right.
And Samara, make a deception check with advantage because you're disguised.
Could it be is it a performance check?
I'll allow it.
I don't know which one's better, so I may take that back.
No.
Well, they're the same. 21.
I see what you're saying.
You got a nat 20.
You bitch. I got 21.
21. Oh,
I got
no,
21.
that means you meet.
Yeah.
That means you meet it. It's like an AC.
Yeah.
So, even like, seeing the scowling face of your childhood hero / mentor who you're trying desperately to impress very quickly sobers your body up, and you feel right awake very quickly, and you kind of like sit upright as she walks away, and you realize her armor is not making any noise, and you're very used to heavy armor. It makes noise, and it is not making any noise as she walks out of sight, and you see like her shadow through like the top, like the material of your tent, but then as she gets further away it kind of disappears, and as you go outside you see Samara and Jade kind of sitting 10-20 feet away.
I'll turn around and go, oh, hey, you're awake. Should we wake up Anya and pack our things?
I'm just gonna look at him, not say anything, not like a scowl, just an emotionless, just look at him and just go,
oh. I'll turn to Jade and like pretend I don't know what he's on about still and go, I guess someone saw a ghost this morning. Oh well, maybe a god, actually.
Jade's looking at Samara, and the helmet swivels at you, and she goes,
is it making noise?
yes.
And I'm then gonna go, you see that? That's what armor sounds like.
Yeah. I don't typically wear it. Why are you expecting it from me?
Exactly. And then I'm going to turn to Anya and go wake her up.
I'm so confused.
So, yeah. Anya, if they're rousing you from sleep, so at this point we're probably looking at like 6:10. You guys, you pack up, if you just shout at me if there's anything else you guys want to do, but you guys pack up camp, you pack all of your supplies, your tents, your fire starting supplies, blah blah blah, your bags, onto your wagon, and yeah. So who wants to drive? Who wants to look out today?
We can take turns. We don't have to go the full way.
I'll do the lookout again. I don't mind really. I've got enough. The thing I got now to work on right now. No spells I want to work on. I don't like that.
So Eartha, you didn't do any of your guncraft last night. Are you wanting to do that today?
I did it during the day instead.
During the journey.
Yeah,
right.
So that's what I'm saying. We'll take turns. So if one person wants to ride for so long, I'll take over after like so many hours. Or if someone wants to look out for so long, I'll take over after that.
So you can't do that for the lookout, but I'll allow you to do that for the driver if you want. So Earth and Anya, do you guys want to swap out being driver today? Like take turns. So yeah. Okay. So cool. So first, who wants to start? Earth or Anya? Do you want to be the driver heading out?
I don't mind. I'll let Anya decide if she wants to ride or not.
I'll start heading out like as we're leaving where we're camped.
Sure. So Anya, you'll start off today as the driver. So could you make another animal handling check for me?
While she's doing that, can I spend 4 to 3 hours doing guns?
Sure. Yeah, you can knock off 4 hours from the crafting. So yeah, like on the floor of the wagon, you try not to spread out too many small parts because every once in a while you hit a bit of a boom on the
Mm-hmm.
But Jade is just kind of like sitting very politely. On the sides of the wagon, there's like little benches for sitting, and Jade is just kind of like helmet down, watching you do things. And every once in a while, she'll kind of bend down and hand you like a small screw, and you'll be like, "I don't need this." And you'll like put it back. Like 2 hours later, she'll like pick up a big bit of something and she'll like hand it to you, and you're like, "Yeah, I know it's there. Like I'm doing it." And you put it back. But yeah, she's just trying to be involved. Yeah, so...
Can I roll an intelligence check to see if she ever gets it right?
Sure, yeah. Anya, what was that animal handling check?
21.
21, very nice. So your horses are acting at above average today. They very much have gotten used to you commanding them on you, and they pull very well today off of it for your shift. What was the intelligence?
It was a -2.
Altogether, it was a -2.
So it was a 3 -5.
Okay, I see. Okay. At one point, she picks up something that I guess even you probably didn't realize this, Aether. It's technically magnetic, and it just kind of sticks to it, and she looks at it, and she closes her palm, and just kind of sits there for really awkward for a minute, not wanting to show you that it's stuck to it, trying to pull it off, and then you probably realize after about 5 minutes, you're like, where was that? I just put it right there, and you think oh my god, did it fall between some floorboards or something? And then she's sticks out a hand, and you see it's stuck to her. Make a strength check.
If he breaks it.
Oh, please don't. That's a 15.
15. Yeah, after 2 or 3 tugs, it pulls off, and you see it's got a bit of electrical charge in it, which is why it was sticking to her. But yeah, you have it back, and she kind of does a light wave and just kind of takes one bump to the right, so she's a little bit further away, and keeps watching you. Samara, can you make a perception check with advantage, please?
Thank God it's with advantage. 16.
16. Okay, can you roll a D100?
I swear to God, if you get 73.
73! 24.
You finally hit an event. You've been hitting nothings so far. So, Samara, you take one of your shifts flying above the wagon to take in the surrounding landscape, and you see that you see a kind of not too far from the road, kind of a bit ahead of you, maybe about 70 to 100 feet ahead of you. You can see kind of a glinting just off the road, something is reflecting off the sun and catching your eye. Just to the left, just to the west, about 100 feet ahead of you, and maybe about 10-ish feet off road to the west.
As the horses are typically faster than me, I'll shout down to Anya to, could you slow it down a second? There's something up ahead I want to look at. And I'll fly ahead to the object.
Yeah,
or
cool.
Whatever it is.
2 seconds. You would come. You would remember where things were.
You know, Jackson, you could just get Jade, have her some specially made brass knuckles with points on the end, so then that way she's still punching but with a bit more behind it.
But I think if you add brass knuckles to her, it's gonna make it a D6 instead of a D4.
No, I meant with spikes.
Still, I don't know how much that's gonna increase it. I feel like if we just get a big weapon, it's not gonna be more than a D12 no matter what we get unless it's special. And we can definitely get a great axe.
Samurai.
Yes.
This is out of game, so I will allow you, so you can consult with other people if you wish. Choose a letter between A and I.
So I want to go with. What do I want to go with? What do you guys want to go with? I like the D. I think we go with D. What do you guys think? What's wrong? What's happened here, guys? I don't understand.
Don't worry about it.
What are you laughing at?
Don't.
I like the D. Fine.
Yeah, it's just I like the letter D. What's up with that?
Stop being so immature.
Yeah. Should we choose D? Everybody okay with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Alice, would you like the D?
No.
Okay.
Samara, could you roll a D100?
63.
63. Samara, you kind of, you hear Anya kind of give the horses a quick lash, and you hear the horses slowing down and the trot slowing as you fly ahead, and you just on the road and begin to kind of walk tentatively 10 feet out into the grass and moss. You find a bottle, make a perception check actually, but it's like a glass bottle with a cork stopper in it. 11. So as you hold it up to the light, you see it's like a clear gelatinous oil, and inside of it, like inside of the oil, this gelatinous oil, there are like little sparkles, and they come from these tiny, ultra thin silver shards. And as you hold it to the light and shake it a bit, you see these shards kind of slowly, because it's oil, kind of float up into the oil and sparkle in the light. And you think that glint was what was catching your eye from way back.
Cool. Do I know anything about what this is, or?
If you want to see if it's magical, you could cast Detect Magic or Identify or something like that.
Let's see. I'll cast Detect Magic with my Magic Initiate feat.
Okay. It is magical. The liquid is magical.
Okay. I don't.
It's not a potion. It appears to be some kind of oil. Usually, potions, for drinking, poisons are for giving to people you want to hurt. Oils are usually for coating on weapons, something like that.
I'll pick it up and I'll just take it back to the cart and say, I've got this. Anybody got Identify, stuff like that.
Anya, do you have the spell Identify currently?
I don't believe so, but if it's a cleric spell, I might be able to prepare it for tomorrow.
Oh wait, no, I do. Wait, do I?
Oh, it's ritual. I can just cast it.
Because I didn't think I did, but apparently I do, because it's right.
Wait on it. Identify is a ritual spell, so I won't waste a spell slot, so I'll just do it.
Okay. So Anya, you can kind of assist Samara in the Identify ritual. So you kind of put out, some candles and blah blah blah, and you cast Identify with this oil in the center of the circle as the focus. So Samara, you learn that this is an oil of sharpness. This clear gelatinous oil sparkles with tiny, ultra thin silver shards. The oil can coat one slashing or piercing weapon, or up to 5 pieces of slashing or piercing ammunition. Applying the oil takes 1 minute. For 1 hour, the coated item is magical and has a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. So you put the oil on a slashing or piercing weapon, and it takes a minute to put it on, and for an hour following that, it counts as a magical weapon, and it has a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls for that hour. So I will add, if you could, in your Samura's magic item sheet, if you just write down oil of sharpness, and I will add that in after the session.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's what you guys find for today. So Eartha, at this point, do you want to swap with Anya?
If she wants to swap, I'll swap.
Cool. So Eartha, could you make an animal handling check?
21. Bless you. Bless you.
Bless you again. 21. Okay, yeah, the animals, same as with Anya, the animals are acting above what you'd expect. They seem to be quite eager to be out of the stables and riding throughout the countryside. So yeah, they are travelling at good speed. So you guys woke up at 6, you did 4 hours of travel yesterday. So probably about midday today, which you know is those guys are probably leaving Suzail about now, or at least they're at least gathering to leave Suzail right now. So you've got about like a 10-hour head start on those guys, on Renault Hawkland and his retainers. About this time, you reach Kalantar's Bridge, which crosses the Starwater River, and is kind of an important, it's the only crossing on Kalantar's way between Suzail and the towns and cities north of there. Samara, considering you are clearly suspicious of bridges, I'll allow you to make a perception check with advantage.
Oh, I got a 1 and a 2. That's 7.
Great. Samara doesn't know shit. Okay.
I can't check because I'm
Samara...
driving, can I?
Nope.
Not
So
even
Samara,
with the observant feat?
as you get close, like within 30 feet, I'll allow you to make a perception check.
Okay.
Come on, that's now.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, I didn't do much better, but I'm glad I got a good perception. 22.
22. So, Samara, if there, as you're kind of getting closer, you notice some kind of debris, kind of just more than usual, kind of around. Some old carts that have been abandoned, things like that. Barrels, sacks, just kind of things lying around to the side of the road as you get up to the bridge. Make a survival check.
Oh no, 13. I rolled
13, no, that's not bad.
No, I rolled another 3.
So you kind of realize as you get closer, not all, but some of the kind of cart tracks that have left an indentation in the moss and in the grass and in the dirt in places that have went towards this bridge. A lot, and some of the foot traffic as well, the footprints, they look like they got to this bridge, and some of them look like they immediately doubled back, like they are the same depth, whereas some of them seem to have continued on just fine. That does tip you off that you're a bit more on edge as you get closer to the bridge.
I would like to slow the horses down then.
Sure. How far away from the bridge would you like to stop?
How far away are we now?
30 feet.
So I'll stop there.
Cool.
I'm going to ask why you stopped.
Look around you. Do you see all the debris, the footsteps turning back?
No, I'm blind.
I'm not surprised.
No eyes.
How long does it take for you to get Abba back?
Too long.
Shit.
It's like over an hour.
Is there a rock or anything on the side of the road?
There are some low, crumbling farmers' walls.
Is there
and something like that.
Is there a rock
But
that's like a decent size, like throwable?
Yeah, you kind of push over a little bit of the low part of the wall, and you find some kind of cracked mortar that you think might be, pretty throwable. It's pretty light.
I want to try hit the bridge.
Okay. Make a strength check. With advantage, because it's not hard.
18.
18. So you kind of you kind of notify Samara and Anya. They get off the wagon. Jade probably follows as well. And yeah, you kind of take a few steps back and you launch this bit of cracked mortar towards the bridge, and it goes off the side, falls into the water. Make a perception check.
That's better. 32.
32. You hear like a not quite as loud, muffled from a distance, but you hear like a grumble, a low.
There's something here.
I'll cast Mage Armor.
Reddish purple armor lights up your body.
Can I fly like 50 feet up and just kind of slowly fly over the bridge? or like to the bridge. It's like until I see something.
Sure. Anya and Aether, are you moving forward as well, or are you staying 30 feet back?
I'll draw my sword and start walking forwards, and I will cast. I will say Ash to set it alight as well. Actually, no, I won't. No, I won't. I'm going to keep that just in case.
Okay. Sure. You don't want to come across too strong.
No, yes. He might just let us pass. You never know.
He might be a spirit. I mean,
who knows? Anya, are you following Aether?
No, I'll stay back with the horses and cart for now.
No worries. I think Jade will probably stay back with you, Anya. But Aether, you tentatively walk forward. Samara, what are you going to head to like the side of the bridge or head like straight above it?
Yeah. I'll head like a little bit to the side, so like
left
on the edge of it. What do you say? Sorry.
Left or right? Like to the left side of the bridge.
The right side of the bridge.
Right side. Cool. Yeah. So Samara, make a perception check. Sight based.
Not 20.
Not 20. Yeah. So you see at this point, you see kind of like this big lump of a shape, dark green skin, matted black hair, kind of sticking to the side of its face. A dark brown, looks to be leather, like loincloth being the only bit of clothing that it's wearing, but it's pretty big. Probably if Aether and Anya stood on each other's shoulders, it's about that tall, but it's kind of hunched a bit. It's got these long, dark green fingers with these horrible yellowing fingernails coming off, and its body itself is covered in like these lighter green boils. And it kind of, you can see a bit of its fangs. You see this is a troll. Not entirely surprising, you know. Bridge trolls be a bridges. And you see one of its big green hands like pull up onto the bridge, and it begins to like clamber up like a child climbing onto something, as it kind of like stands up, and he's like, he kind of clocks you, Samara, and he's like, hey, no flying, gotta use the bridge.
I'll say it to him. I honestly, I saw a troll and I thought you'd try and kill us.
Not troll, I'm Mister. This is my bridge.
Okay, and I'll fly back to the floor, but like a good way, like 40 feet away from him, just so he can't hit me.
So he's kind of like on the top end of the bridge, so you can probably fly down like next to where Aether was, about 25 feet away.
Yeah. And I'll just say, are we allowed to pass now we're on the ground?
Of course, it's a bridge meant for walkers.
What about the car?
Of course.
What's the toll?
Aether, make a perception check.
18 plus whatever. So
18.
Stupid amount.
It's like 30 something.
Yeah.
The toll is wherever I say the toll is. My bridge, my toll. And he kind of takes 2 lumbering steps forwards until he's at the top of it. It's a pretty like, it looks to be an old bridge, but it's like about like a 30-foot long stone bridge with like stairs on either side that go up. Cobblestone bridge with kind of like 2 arcs, like a middle pillar in the water. So it's a pretty big, sturdy bridge. He kind of takes 2 steps forward till he's right at like the top of the steps, about like 25 feet away from you. And he kind of like sits down, so his legs are like dangling like on top of the step. He's quite lanky, you know. He's not like a big fat troll, not like an ogre. He's very thin and scrawny, but big. And he like his big angled legs are like at the bottom of the stairs, and he's sitting at like the top. Toll is whatever I say toll is. It's troll toll.
What's the toll today?
He kind of like rubs his like very angular pointed chin, and he kind of pushes his long black hair out of his face. You see, it's like, even though he lives like in a river, it seems like it's never been washed. And he kind of like looks at you, and he kind of notices there's more people behind, and he's like, I gotta see everyone pays the toll. And then waves Anya and Jade forward, and Jade kind of just like starts walking forward. Anya, do you walk forward as well?
Yeah.
Right.
So, Eartha, you notice he's wearing one other thing. Around his, like, not like around his neck, hanging from the side of like the rope that holds his loincloth, you notice a red medallion swinging from it, like tied to the rope.
What type of medallion?
You can't really make it out from here. You just see some sort of red medallion. Catches your eye because it's bright. You, bright one, birdie. I want your stick.
Can I jump? I'm gonna fly 50 feet in the air straight away. The second he says it.
No, he kind of stands like now he's like on the stairs. No flying.
How tall is he? Like 15 foot? 10 foot,
10
right?
12 foot,
Right,
something like that.
cool. I'll look down to the other two and go, I am not giving up this stick.
That's not all. And he points at you, Eartha. Sword. And then he points at you, Anya. Your little weird guitar.
I'm gonna
Everyone plays the guitar.
I'm gonna point at him and cast Guiding Bolt at 3rd level.
Okay.
That's combat.
By him, Samurai, right?
Yeah,
Samurai.
I'm gonna go like that. But no, Guiding Bolt at 3rd level I'm gonna do.
Yeah, so you get one. You get this attack off because it's a surprise round, and then everyone shoots. So
I was about to fucking launch something at him, so I guess we had the same idea.
I rolled a 19 to hit.
Sorry, I'm just distracted. 19 hits.
I didn't realize how much I did 3rd level. My mistake.
Let me just send you a picture of the battle map
I'm
so you
missing
guys.
dice. Oh well, calculate it. That's nice damage. It's good to start with anyway.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just dropping in a picture of the battle map. Okay. Here we go. So you guys can see what you're working with. Okay. So, so just to describe this place a bit. So, like, as the banks reach the actual river, the Starwater River, you know, it kind of fades from grass into like sand, mud and sand, and then goes into the river. You can see to the right of the bridge, in between this side of the river and the other side, there is like a small island, and then obviously there's like the mossy cobblestone path that leads to and from the bridge on the other side. So Eartha, sorry, tell me about that again.
I cast Witch Bolt at 3rd level, dealing 27 damage.
27 damage. Nice start. And what kind of, is it electric damage?
It is Radiant.
Radiant. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that not Guiding Bolt?
That's what I meant. What did I say?
Witch Bolt.
Oh, I meant Guiding Bolt. I've been playing Baldur's Gate, and
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
like one of my favorite spells in that. So.
Yeah, it is very good. Maths is so hard. What damage did you do against her?
27. And anyone in the next attack roll made against a target before the end of your turn has advantage. So
Okay.
any attack made against it now has the next attack made against it has advantage.
So if you guys could all roll initiative, Samurai, roll for Jade as well.
22 for me, 21 for Jade. Jade got nat 20.
I got nat 20, but mine's no plus. Can I have it so that Newt goes straight after me?
Yeah.
Rather than
Eartha, what
rolling.
did you get?
Natural 20.
Did you get no plus?
I'm not dexterous.
Let's see. So you're just after Jade, yeah?
Yes.
I've just
Anya?
realised.
15.
There we go.
I've just realised Aarakocra's. I had this down on my character. I've never used it, so it doesn't actually affect the game at all. But Aarakocra's stat blocks have a dive attack, where if they dive 30 feet down, they get an extra d6. But it's actually not on the Aarakocra playable character.
Yeah, that means you don't get it.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. I've had it on my character sheet since day one. I've never used it, so it doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure you do, because you get that Sky Warden feat from the... I'm pretty sure that's got a thing about diving.
I'll have a look. I just want to
It's
do
in
Beyond,
your
it's
Samurai
typical.
file. It's not official material. It's made by the guy who runs D&D Beyond, but it's not technically official. But I'm letting you guys use it.
Oh, is it the expanded racial feats?
Yeah, that's it. It's in your folder. Cool. Well, Samurai, you are at the top of the round. So are you currently flying? About 50 feet up, did you say?
Yes. Yeah, I do get it. Never mind. I am silly.
There we go. Sorted.
To me first.
Yes.
I am going to cast Samurai's Thunder Punch, and I am going to dive straight down at this troll.
Very nice. Okay.
And just welly him one, and get the extra d6.
Very good. Very good.
Sorry, I'm just typing the thing down at the same time. That's
No,
an
no, it's
18 to hit.
18 hits.
Now the spell does how much damage again? It's 3d6, but it's 4d6 because of like flowing down it.
So this is it's a melee spell attack, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think you should also get your Sky Warden dive thing with it.
that's what I'm doing.
Right, cool. Yeah.
That's why I was like talking about it and looking at it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
5, 8, 12 damage.
12 damage. Right.
That's a level 2 spell. I rolled it horribly. I got a 3 twice and then like 1s, 1 and 2.
So you kind of reach the apex of your flight and you let your wings kind of fall limp and they fall behind your back as you kind of turn down and you dive from right above the troll as it's kind of getting ready to. It kind of like, even though if it stood upright, it would be like maybe bordering 15 foot tall, but it's always kind of slouched at about 12 feet. And then it kind of slouches even more to like this cat-like defense position where it kind of flexes its claws to scratch. It's perceiving the biggest threat right now to be Eartha, so it's like leering at Eartha after having the guiding bolt just kind of bonk it in the head. But yeah, then you kind of just kind of crash into him, punching him on top of the head, kind of folding his head so his chin hits his chest really hard, and he just kind of.
Oh, he's also deafened for a minute, and I'm going to use my bonus action to Misty Step under the bridge.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So you smack him so hard that his chin kind of crunches into his head. Actually, wait, yeah. Do you not have to see where you're going?
Also, how are you Misty Stepping? Is it? That's not a cantrip.
Bonus action.
It's not a cantrip though.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I can't cast 2 spells at once. He's got me. No, I've just stood there next to him. Then. Yeah.
So you kind of collapse in from on top, folding his head into his chest, and he stumbles back and puts a hand on either of his ears as you deafened him from the thunderous that familiar sound from the shield fight last night. And he's like, he stumbles back till he's like not so much on the stairs of the bridge, he's now on the bridge proper. And Samurai, you're kind of standing on the stairs. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good round. So next up is Jade.
21.
Yeah.
Jade is going to attack with the Morning Star because she's an idiot, even though she doesn't have proficiency.
Yeah, sure. She got a new part.
Yeah, it's disadvantage, right?
Yes, just because she doesn't have proficiency.
Yeah. I don't need to roll a second time.
I've re-angled the battle map so you can see things a bit.
I don't need to roll the disadvantage because it can't get any worse.
Well, fair.
Yeah, so that's a 1. Well, it's a 1 plus 5, but you know.
Eartha, you're up next, so think about your turn. So is Jade doing anything else? So Jade, it was 1 to hit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I do have a second attack. I should probably try and use that.
Perfect. So yeah, so Jade runs up to be next to you, Samara, on the steps of the bridge. So now Samara and Jade are taking up the steps to the bridge. So if you want to try and, you can't currently, to like get onto the bridge, you would have to like climb it around it, or someone would have to move out the way. But Jade runs up to be next to you, Samara, just kind of running up with the Morning Star, and just dunk as the troll's stumbling backwards and completely misses it, chips some of the stone from the ground. She rears up
19,
yeah. She takes another step forward, and this time does a side swing and kind of just smacked it really hard on the side of the ribs, and it takes one of its hands from its ears. It's like, ooh!
It's 8 damage.
I have a question.
Yep.
Eartha knows the weakness of the trolls. Not Eartha, Ellis knows the weakness of the trolls. Does Eartha?
Make an intelligence check. I think it's probably a pretty widely known one. And if you can get this intelligence check, I'll say everyone knows it and you can
12.
share it. 12. No, I think the DC in my head was 10. I think it's, a troll is not like a troll, even though in this fantasy world, trolls, especially around bridges, it happens. Like trolls go to bridges because they want to make some they want to get a horde going. So yes, you guys know that trolls are weak to fire, and to like actually kill them, you need to kill them with fire, or else they might like start regenerating. So yeah, but Eartha, it is your turn.
Well, I can't really get to it, can I? Unless I climb up the side.
Yes, and even above, so above where the troll is right now is actually in the water out, is actually above the for some reason the messenger, like how you can use the camera on messenger, it's like it won't rotate, so I have to use the actual camera and then thank you, send it in. So yes, so the actual troll is above water. So you would have to climb up the wall and then shimmy along, and then climb up behind it, or something magical or something like that. So yeah. So what would you like to? You could try and hit it with a ranged thing, but Jade and Samara, he technically has half cover from. Actually, no. He wouldn't, because Jade and Samara are on the steps and he is on the bridge, so they are lower than him. So you could try and hit him with something ranged, or push through Jade and Samara if you want.
I would like to use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon behind him.
Very good. I had that out because I knew you would.
Right. I haven't used it in a while, but I'm going to cast it at 3rd level, using my last 3rd level spot.
Okay.
And as a cast, I can hit straight away. I got 16.
16. Sorry, blah blah blah. Does hit. I'm also, just for future reference, just because I've been thinking about this after the last few times and I've just looked it up. I don't think technically I should have been counting your spiritual weapon for flanking, so it won't work for flanking. We'll do everything.
Right. Damn. Oh well.
Tell me about the damage.
I'm working out in my head. 19.
No worries. 19 damage.
Yeah, 2d8 plus my spellcasting modifier.
Very nice.
Well, that's my bonus action. Not much else I can. Oh wait, I can cast a cantrip, can't I?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I've got no fire whatsoever apart from my sword. I can't really get to him. So
damage is damage.
So I'm going to cast a one that sounds like fire, full well knowing it's not fire. Sacred Flame.
Go for it. Sure.
So at 5th level, the target must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take, because it's 5th level, 2d8 fire damage, 2d8 radiant damage. So he's got to succeed in a dexterity saving throw of 16.
Dexterity saving throw of 16.
Yes, bloody
Bless
hell.
Sorry.
That was so loud.
He got 50.
Well, he fails, so he takes damage. It takes 2d8. 10 damage. See now Newt's next.
And now it's Newt's go, yeah?
Yeah, and because both Jade and Samara are within 5 feet of the creature, he can therefore use flyby.
Very nice.
So I'm going to have him fly in. Not flyby. Pack tactics, so he gets advantage on attack rolls. Flyby he gets regardless. And I'm going to have him do... I'm going to have him have a shred. Have a shred. Just going to fly by and attack him with his talons.
With his talons. Very nice. Go for it.
18 to his.
Hits.
And it's a d4. That's 5 damage. And then I'm going to have him fly 30 feet off in a different lake, away from him.
Cool. Yeah, so, after you... Sorry, what spell do you use? Guiding Bolt? You cast Spiritual Weapon, then you use Guiding Bolt.
No, I cast Spiritual Weapon and use Sacred Flame, because you can't use two... You can use a cantrip
Actually, wait a minute. Hold up. I think if you cast a cantrip at a 2nd level slot,
I'm not casting at 2nd level. The spell's damage increases by 1d8 when you reach... Yeah.
When you reach 5th level.
When you reach 5th level, the damage increases.
This is me fucking myself. This is good. It's fine. So, no, very nice play. So you cast Spiritual Weapon. Did the spiritual weapon takes an attack at him, doesn't it? Or...
Yes. Yeah. It
yeah. So
quite a bit.
You summoned your big red floating longsword behind Mister the Troll. It took a slash at him. Then you called Newt, who flew in and took a few scratches with his talons and flew off in the other direction. Actually, Eartha, at the end of your turn, at the end of Newt's turn, make another perception check.
With Newt or Eartha?
With Eartha.
28.
28. He does not just have one kind of necklace hanging from this rope. You now know, now that you've gotten a little bit closer, now that you've had some more time to look, you can see what appears to be many religious symbols hanging from his waist. One of which, the one that caught your eye, being a symbol of the Red Knight that hangs from his belt, presumably taken from as either tributes from passerbys or maybe from their corpses. You're not sure. Next it is the Troll's go. After the Troll, it's your go, Anya. So just think about whatever you want to do. The Troll is going to. What would he like to do? First of all, you see Samura, you particularly notice this. The talon scratches from Newt and some of the bits of damage and cuts on the Troll's body, you see them stitch back together as it stands a bit more upright than it had been a second ago, as some of his wounds heal themselves as he regenerates slightly. Actually, Eartha, could you make another perception check? Sorry, not perception. Intelligence is what I meant.
No, I cannot.
That's me. What did you get?
With the plus or just...
With the plus.
With the plus?
3. Boo. Okay. Then I'll tell you this. You remembered that fire stops the regeneration process, but there is something else that stops it as well, but you can't remember what. So, okay, he is going to take. So the troll has multi-attack. He takes 3 attacks, 1 with his bite and 2 with his claws. So he is going to. He is going to. Sorry, Samurai. I think he's just gonna go ham at you.
That's fine. I'm trying to get the rules up quickly for Defender and Jade, because I'm not sure if it's 1 attack or if it's all attacks.
I'll let you go back to this actually, just because for general survival. I'll go ahead and update. The battle map hasn't changed too much. It's just having a spiritual weapon onto it, but I'll go ahead and do this while.
It says that they use the reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll of a creature within 5 feet of it who isn't targeting the sidekick. Because it uses a reaction, do you think it means only one? Yeah.
So and then that's Jade's reaction gone, but obviously that's like all she can use her reaction for. So the first attack, so 1 with its bite, so does it get disadvantage, did you say?
Yeah, disadvantage on its first attack.
Since it specifies 1 with its bite and 2 with its claws, I'll say this is the bite attack. So disadvantage, it has rolled the same both times, which makes it 13 to hit.
Misses me.
Misses. So the troll kind of like pulling its. Now that it's regenerated a little bit, it pulls its hands away from its ears, and you can see that its ears must still be ringing as it kind of like moves its eyes and mouth in a weird way, and it kind of like its yellow eyes lock onto you, and its like horrible purplish pink tongue kind of licks its lips, and you see its jagged fangs as it kind of. He takes a biting motion now as he launches forward and tries to bite you, Samara, but he misses. Jade kind of grabs his head and kind of pushes him back for a moment. But then he's going to try 2 claw attacks. So Samurai, the first one is 11 to hit.
Misses.
The second one is 27 to hit, but it's a natural 20, so it does double damage.
Think of me.
Big hit.
Maybe a little.
So.
Only a little damage though, not much. Just a little.
Not much. 22 damage.
Okay.
As it then like missing the bite, it quickly tries to follow up with another claw attack, and you push yourself off the bridge, like you do like a matrix lean, and you use like your staff to like digging into some of the stones so you don't fall as you then pull yourself back. But as you're like going to pull yourself back up, the other claw comes from the other direction and just like sticks in your back, some of its claws digging into your flesh. So that's the troll's turn. The troll's going to stay where it is. Anya, what would you like to do? So Eartha is a little bit ahead of you. Samurai and Jade are kind of blocking the bridge as they're in melee with the troll. What would you like to do, Anya?
I would like to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
So the troll needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
He's not good at that. He got an 8, so he fails.
Okay. I need to make 3d6 psychic damage.
Okay, very nice.
5, and then 2, and then a 1, so that's 8 altogether.
8 altogether, very nice. Anya, as you kind of begin kind of moving your hands correctly for the spell, and you begin chanting these small whispers, you see the troll begins to like raise one hand to his head again as he shouts, "Shut up! Shut up!" And he kind of like waves at nothing for a second. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Anya? Or is that your turn?
No, that's my turn.
Yeah. So staying a little bit back, out of the way. But starting the round over, Samara, it's your turn. You are right in front of this troll who's just janked you in the back. What would you like to do?
Yes, I know what I want to do, but it's not a smart move.
You are currently the bridge, like, so just to, because obviously before you were trying to misty step under the bridge. Right now you are obviously on the right side of the staircase. To get onto the side, like to the right beneath you, to get to the sand, like the sandy bank, and you could then walk under the bridge. You would obviously have to take the disengage action or take an attack of opportunity, but you wouldn't take any fall damage or anything to get down onto the sand. It would be a pretty low athletics check, and then you could just walk under the bridge if you like.
I'm gonna just disengage. I'm just gonna walk 25 feet backwards, so that if he does push forwards, I'll be next to you'll have to go past Jade, Urfa, Tanya. It'll be a good distance.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So you leave Jade up in the melee with Mister as you take 25 feet back, kind of on par with where Anya is, if not a little bit angled out of the way. Would you like to do anything else? That's your action. Would you like to do anything else?
There's nothing I can do which is going to be worth it, so I'm alright.
Okay. Then that makes it Jade's go. Aether, you're up after Jade.
Jade will attack twice more. She got another 1, but there's no one next to her. So...
No one next to her.
And then that's a 6. No, it's not. It's a 7. On the next attack.
Roll both damages. Roll the first damage first.
So the first damage for the nat 1 is 3 damage. Because I rolled a 1, so that's kind of good.
So at first, as the troll looks like it's gonna walk off the bridge, try and push past Jade, she takes a headbutt at him, and her helmet just comes off, and she grabs it and puts it back in. But she takes 3 damage, so note that off. 3 damage to Jade from self-inflicted misadventure.
And then I rolled a 7 on the other attack. Attack to hit, not damage.
Yeah, misses, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is staying put with Jade kind of being a bulwark in between the bridge and the land. So that's Jade's go. Eva, it's you with Newt and the troll afterwards.
Seeing how there's now a space, I'm going to walk up into that space. On the way,
yes.
I'm going to draw my sword and say the magic word and set it alight. So now it's fiery.
Yeah, so your flame tongue sword, the blade bursts into flames, starting at the hilt and going all the way to the tip. A wave of flame overtakes the sword.
I'm then gonna hit him with the flame sword.
Do it.
That's an unnatural 20 to hit.
Unnatural 20 to hit hits.
That is 4 normal damage or fire damage. Wait, no, my bad. Not 4 normal damage. It is. Wait, I don't know if I actually have that. I'll have to check something. Because I don't know if I've written something down right. But we'll just do 8 damage in total.
8 damage. Sounds fair. Okay, so yeah, as you begin walking forwards and you draw your sword, are you holding it longsword style or?
Yeah, 2-handed. Well, I'm going to hold it one-handed as I walk up and then swing 2-handed.
Yeah, so you leave your shield on your back and you hold it one-handed as you whisper ash, and the sword erupts into flame, and you begin holding it with both hands. And you see, as soon as the flames become involved, Mister is and starts snarling and guttering. You see a wad of saliva fall out of his mouth as he begins to kind of realize he's not playing with some merchants here. And you take a flash at him, and he does not like that. As you cut through his stomach, and the black of the fire kind of burns around it.
Nice.
Anything else, or was it Newt's go?
It's going to be Newt's go. Newt's just going to do the same thing as before. Fly by, walk off. That's what was Newt's plus again? I think it's a 4. Yeah. 22. Newt's rolling well, which annoys me.
Very nice. Yeah, Newt's a better player than us.
Oh, never mind. That's a 3 damage because it's a 1 plus 2.
It's 23. Okay, yeah. So Newt comes back in again, using his pack tactics with having friends nearby, and his flyby to scratch with his talons at the troll and then fly off in the other direction. Yeah, the troll is looking bloody, and it gets back to his turn. Those wounds, unlike last time, do not heal back. Doing the fire damage to him has temporarily stunted his regeneration ability, and he kind of, what do you do? What have you done? As he looks down at his claws.
Okay. So that does happen.
He is going to use his action to attempt to throw Eartha into the river.
Okay.
Eartha, make a strength saving throw.
I might be going flying.
I think you will be too.
I rolled an 8.
He rolled a 17 plus 4, 21. So, Eartha, you're kind of waving that fiery blade in front of you, and he kind of takes a few steps. He keeps trying to go for you, and you kind of hold up the flame tongue, and he kind of like, you're almost impressed. He kind of feints in one direction, and you go to like parry, and he goes in the other, and he just like, he doesn't grab you, he just cups you with one of his hands and just bops you into the river.
PTSD. It's the crocodile all over again.
It happens a lot. Roll a d4. 4. Okay, you go. Yeah, you go 15 feet into the river. So you are currently. I'll send a picture. You are currently technically prone, but you're also swim. You don't take any damage because of the water. It's not ideal because you're in heavy armor, but the water is like 10 foot deep at most in places. So it's not a life-threatening situation by any means. But you're kind of in between the side of the river you had come from, like to the Suzalan side, and this little island. I've just put a picture in our group so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, he flings you into the Starwater River as you whoa. Actually, just for make a survival check with advantage.
With advantage.
Yes.
28.
28. Okay, yeah, you're fine. You manage to hold on to Flame Tongue. It doesn't go flying away or anything. You manage to grab onto it and kind of hold it to your chest as you fall into the water.
Because
you're technically prone.
Because it's magical flame. Is it still lit or is it extinguished?
It is still lit.
Right, just checking.
So even under the water, it doesn't do damage. It's not doing damage to you right now because it's on your armor. But as you hit the water and you go under the surface, you see the flames take on a bluish tint as bubbles go crazy rising from the blade. As you get, so you probably sink near to the bottom of the river because of your heavy armor. But it's 8 foot deep, so you're fine. We'll do that on your turn. So that's the troll's action, but Jade's still there, so he doesn't want to move. Can't take a disengage. So that's fine. Next up is Anya. What would you like to do, Anya?
I think that I have a quick question. You know the silencer rapier that I have?
Yeah.
You know how you have to roll a 20 in order to use 2d6 piercing damage? So if I don't roll a 20, is it just used like a regular rapier sword?
2 minutes. So it's it's called silence, but it is a vicious rapier. Let me look, because that doesn't make any sense, because that's if you roll a 20, you would already take double damage. Yes. So it is when you roll a 20 with this magic weapon, the target takes an extra 2d6 piercing damage. Yeah. So it's just current, like, unless you roll a 20, it's a normal rapier that does 1d8 damage. But if you roll a 20, you deal double dice damage, so you would deal 2d8 plus 2d6. So right now, if you roll beneath, but there are certain abilities and items you can get that can make, so the reason it says when you roll a 20 is because that's a critical. There are certain items and abilities you can get that make a 19 a critical or an 18 a critical, so you can bring that down a bit. But yeah, so if you roll less than a 20, it will be 1d8 plus your dexterity, I think, whatever it says on the plus next to a normal rapier. Yeah, so what would you like to do, Anya?
I think I'm going to use my silencer rapier. I'm going to give it a go.
Sure. So you run up next to Jade. You run through the grass and onto the steps, and you take a piercing stab. Roll to hit.
Okay. So am I adding the dexterity as well to make it?
So it's just whatever it says on the attack bonus of your rapier.
Mm-hmm. 1 second. 23.
23. So yeah. So did you roll a natural 20, or did you just roll? Is that just with the plus?
It's just with the plus. It was 16, and I added my 7 dexterity.
No worries. So yeah. So that does 1d8 plus however much it says next to your normal rapier. It should say like 1d8 p slash p plus something. So yeah, it just does that. But if you roll a natural 20, you'll do 2d8 plus 2d6 plus whatever your dexterity is as well.
Okay, so I'm only doing 1d8.
Yeah.
Okay. 3.
3. It happens. Yeah.
Okay.
But you run up and you take a stab, and like in that wound that Eartha had opened up with his flaming sword, you just aim for there and jam it in, and the troll's like, as he kind of pulls the blade out and spits it back at you. Okay, Anya, would you like to do anything else, or would you like to stay put?
Nah, there's not much else I can do, so.
No worries. So, that makes it back to Samurai. It is your turn.
I am going to run up behind Jade.
Okay.
I'm going to fly, so I'm using my fly movement, which is 50. And then I'm going to cast Samurai's bonded supercharge at 3rd level.
Okay.
Which, we haven't actually made rules for higher levels, but I presume it'll just be plus 1d8 damage every time.
Remind me what it is at base level, sorry?
It is 2d8 lightning.
Yeah, at a higher level, yeah, 1d8.
Yeah, plus 1d8 per level. So I cast it at 3rd level, so it should do 4d8 per attack. So I need to roll a d4 to see how many attacks it lasts, because it is 1d4 melee attacks. So it lasts 1, but it does 4d8 damage.
Okay, so last one punch.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna fly back to where I was. I think the 50 feet flying.
Yep.
And that will be my turn, and then it'll be Jade who will then attack.
Go for it. Yeah.
As I do it, I'm gonna whisper into Jade's ear, like boxing time, and just then it's gonna get to Jade's turn, and she's gonna like throw the mace off the floor and pull up my fists and get ready to start slamming, basically.
Okay, go for it.
So that's a 14 plus 5, 19 to hit. Which I presume hits.
Yep.
So that is 1d6 plus 2, which is 4. So it's 4 plus 48. So that's 5, 10, 13, 20 damage total
20
with the
damage.
first
Oh,
attack. Then the second attack is a nat 20. So double dice. That's another 8. So it's 28 damage off both attacks.
very good. Very nice. Okay. Cool. So that is Samara and Jade. So yeah, like you said, feeling like feeling your talon clamp on Jade's shoulder, she kind of the helmet like swivels back to you as you mutter the incantation, and lightning kind of fills her form, and she kind of stands upright, and she drops the mace instinctively, and it ting ting hits up the cobbled staircase, and you kind of flutter backwards. She kind of swivels back to the troll, and she just puts a hand on his shoulder and kind of pulls him forward and punches him in the stomach. Or not on his shoulder, she's not quite tall enough, but grabs the side of his arm and lightning kind of fries the troll for a minute. He doesn't look pleased. Eartha and Newt.
How far is it from me to the troll? Like if I get out, so I got to get out the water, obviously. But...
You would have to get out the water, but Anya and Jade are on the stairs.
Right. Well, I will get out.
So that's going to be about. No, actually, sorry. Make a perception check. 28. You see, it's a bit difficult to make out, but you can see something that doesn't look natural. Looks kind of. But you can see something with straight edges. That's kind of a little bit kind of. So currently, you know where you are on the map. To the left of the bridge, so if you imagine the bridge has two kind of arcs, as bridges do. To the left of the bridge, near that middle arc, you can kind of see something that looked like an unnatural shape, something man-made underneath the water, submerged about 8 feet down. You just catch that as you get your sword and you swim out. So because even though you're technically prone, you're swimming. So but you don't have a swim speed. So it's 5 feet, but that would be 10 feet to get to the sandy bank. So using 10 feet of your movement, you are now on the sand. What would you like to do?
Oh no, I'm not going to do that. Take that back. Actually, who is the most hurt of us three?
Probably Samurai.
Me.
How far away am I from Samurai?
About 20.
I have
to get there with your
I'll go up to Samurai and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Cure Wounds, okay, yeah.
I took 22 damage. I only have 30 health.
Well, now you have an additional 12 on top of that, buddy.
So yeah, Samurai, as you kind of flutter back and you kind of like dig your staff into the ground and land, watch Jade just clock the guy in the stomach and the lightning kind of burst out. You see Eartha kind of like swim out of the water and kind of dig his sword into the sand, and he looks so heavy, like he's wearing heavy metal armor and like he's dripping wet, and he just kind of like does a light jog up to you and kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and casts Cure Wounds as you're kind of like hobbled on your staff, kind of recovering from some of your wounds. He casts that into you, and you perk up right with like a wet handprint on your robe, your nice light blue robe. Yeah.
And then once I do that, I'm going to go like that and have the sword attack him. My spiritual weapon.
Oh, very good.
Because that's
very
not...
good.
Funny enough, it's not a concentration spell, which I thought it was. So
very good.
It's always there. It's always... That's 26 to hit.
26 hits?
Even if it is a concentration, you can still cast spells.
No, I mean like to keep it up. If I get hit, I've got to make a concentration spell. So...
you also haven't been hit.
No, I've been thrown. It's even worse. 12 damage. Didn't roll so well that time.
Well...
Pardon me.
Okay, yeah, so as you pump a Cure Wounds into Samurai, the sword, the floating red long sword, takes a whoosh spin attack at Mister, cutting him off the back as he kind of looks behind him, forgetting it. You kind of forgot it was there for a minute. Very good. Is Newt doing any? Just the same as always?
Newt's doing the same as always, because Newt's pretty good at doing that. That is a 16 to hit.
Hits.
Oh, damn. That is a 5 damage. A nice solid 5.
5. Nice.
And then he's going to obviously fly off 30 feet to the opposite direction that he came in.
Flies in, takes a few talon scratches, and off in the other direction again. So it is the troll's turn. Anya, you're up after the troll. So, having not been hit with any fire, you see some of its wounds begin to mend again. Stitch back together. You notice where, when you'd first met this troll, it had some nicks here and there, but it was mostly this dark green. Where the wounds kind of knit back together, it's a lighter green, like a baby green, like an olive, compared to like the dark, vibrant green that he'd once been. He had some before, but obviously now with you taking a lot of cuts at him, he's got a lot more. The troll is going to he's going to pump all 3 of his attacks into Jade, I think. So
fight me.
Come on, you so the bite attack is up first, and that does 17 hit?
Nope.
Oof. Okay, so the bite misses. So now 2 claw attacks. Does 19 hit?
Just.
19. Natural 20.
Yeah, that hits.
So the first claw attack, that's not good. Does that's better. 11 damage, 11 slashing damage from the first claw attack, and the second one does 14 slashing damage.
Right, 11 and 14. Cool.
How much does Jade have?
61 total.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's down to 33 at the minute.
Just better.
Not even halfway.
Okay, that is the troll's turn. He's just kind of incoherently shouting, like, "Stop it! Put my bridge in the..." Just slashing it, whatever comes close enough. Anya, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna make a crossbow attack.
Oh, very nice. Cool.
18 to hit.
Hits.
Oh, don't give me a 1 or something. 4. 4 damage.
4 damage. There we go. So kind of taking your rapier in like your offhand and curling it back so its blade travels up your arm. You reach down to like your lower back and you pull out your crossbow and take a kind of a cheap shot from underneath, and it kind of just sticks in its shoulder as it like smacks it out into the river and grunts at you. Would you like to do anything else?
No.
No worries. So up next is back at the start of the turn, Samara, and then Jade on deck.
Right, I'll make it nice and easy. Simple one. Chromatic Orb, 3rd level. Acid.
Go for it. Is it a ranged spell attack?
It is a ranged spell attack, but I can fly 20 feet if I need to. Just straight up.
They're on the steps again. So he's on the bridge, and Anya and Jade are on the steps, so you don't even need to. So go for it.
That is a 15 plus 8. I'm choosing acid, so it's like 23 to hit. Acid. It's 3d8 plus a d8 for each, so it's actually 5d8. I'm hitting them for 5, 9, 11, 13, 21 acid damage as I just get this ball of acid and just hurl it towards them.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of like sticking your staff really hard into the ground so it stands upright on its own. You kind of draw your talons in together and you begin chanting this incantation. As Eartha, you standing in front, standing like slightly to the right and in front of Samara, you see the sickly green orb, kind of begin this yellowish, jaundiced yellow, sickly green orb begin to generate between his talons as he kind of holds it back and shoots it forward, and it flies above Jade and Samara as the giant is like, as the troll is kind of slashing into Jade, and then kind of like stands upright and roars as the acid just splashes over him, and he goes, and he falls back, so he's lying on his back on the bridge, kind of collapsing on top of your spiritual weapon, Aether, which kind of instinctually lashes out the way, so it's like the blade is at its throat, and the acid is all down its front, and he's lashing at himself, trying to get it off. And you can see it burning through the skin until you can almost see elements of bone, skeleton, and skull underneath the troll, and it lashes and it screams for a few moments until its arms fall still, and the grunting goes on for a few more seconds until it lays dead.
I'm going to walk up with my sword still lit, and just to make sure, I'm going to plunge it into his throat.
Very good. So you brush between Anya and Jade with the sword still burning, and you slash it into its throat, and it kind of like twitches a few times as the acid still burns through it, and even while it's dead, you see like you can kind of begin to see its rib cage become exposed, and like its eyelids just kind of flutter closed. You're pretty confident it's dead.
Are those symbols still there? Are they still intact?
Yeah, they all seem. It kind of hit on his upper half, head and upper torso. The symbols are kind of tied to this rope that keeps its loincloth nice and tight, like a belt. You can see like a dozen or so holy symbols, only one of which is a symbol of the Red Knight.
I want to take them all and just throw them in the bag and hold them.
Sure. So just write 12 assorted holy symbols.
Can I go under the bridge?
Yeah. Eartha, your spiritual weapon dissipates.
Yes.
Samura, you fly over down to the beach and walk kind of underneath the first arc, kind of ducking slightly until you can stand up again. You can see what appears to be kind of like a den, like a nothing is civilized as a camp. There is no bed or anything like that, but you can see almost like a dint in the mud and dirt and sand where this thing appears to have been sleeping.
Just if there's like anything here, just check around, see if there's any more hoard, so to speak.
Oh yeah. So you see 2 wooden chests, and there are 3 random magic items. So would you like to check the chests first, and then we can randomize these magic items?
I'll shout for Jade to come down, and I'll get Jade to carry the 2 chests up to the off the sand up to the top where the grass is. And I presume, are these magic items like in anything, like in a bag, or are we just gonna literally randomize them as if they're on the floor? Yeah, I was gonna carry the bags up there too, so we could do it all.
They would have just been lying around. So do we want to write, so you guys can work together on this again? So same as last time, pick a table from A to I. What would you guys like?
A. I think we should each pick one.
Yeah, okay, we'll pick one each. Yeah, that's fair.
You
can roll your own. You can roll your own letter as well too.
Oh yeah.
Make it all your own fault.
Eartha, you're picking A.
Yes.
Samara, what are you picking?
Just because I just hate so much.
Pause. I'll do one by one. So Eartha, you picked A. Roll a D100. I'm stupid. I should have just done that.
I'll just put that away. 51.
51.
51.
Tough luck.
Shit.
Yours is a spell scroll.
Do I know what spell it is?
No, not identifying it.
Oh shit.
Okay. Alright, I'll pick I. Because I just want to be the opposite to Ellis, just because I just hate him so much.
Okay. I roll a D100.
45.
Not as good as 51, is it?
It's better.
Is it?
Playing golf now.
Oh, okay.
Troll wins, he's dead.
Sorry. I is like ridiculous items, like not stuff you would find. So technically it's A to H. So do you want to use the same one, or would you like to reroll?
I mean, I'd like to stay on I personally, but I'll stick with a 45.
Okay. Yours is a staff.
Another one.
Oh, it's good. There's the issue here because I've already got a great one, so this isn't going to be as good. Okay, I'll take my stuff. I'll identify it with a ritual.
Jess, which letter table would you like between A and H?
Which one? F.
It's not
F.
It's it's like for some reason.
Oh. I thought you just went fuck.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Well, you don't know that.
It doesn't matter. It could be anything.
Okay. Okay, 8.
Just straight 8.
Okay.
Out of a D100, I got 8, yeah?
Nice.
So, okay, let me check something. So many fucking pages in this book.
I don't want to be that guy, but I don't think he's read every book by him.
Okay. Anya is holding a shield. So a shield, a staff, and a spell scroll.
It's not going to be as good as the shield I made you, Eartha. I promise. I'll identify them all as a ritual.
Just while he's doing that, Samara, do you want the oil of sharpness, or would you like to give that to someone else, by the way?
I'll give it to Anya.
Dude, I was gonna say, if you pass it to me, I'm gonna pass it to Anya.
Yeah.
So, Anya, if you could go on the Google Drive onto your magic item sheet and just write oil of sharpness, and then I'll go in later and do that, and Samara, if you could just delete it off yours.
Yeah.
So I'll just say these, and you guys can talk about who gets what. You don't have to, So the shield that Anya had found, Samara, you identify it as a sentinel shield. While holding this shield, you have advantage on initiative rolls and wisdom perception checks. The shield is emblazoned with a symbol of an eye. So the shield has a big eye painted on it, and you have advantage on initiative rolls and perception checks while wielding it. And it doesn't require attunement.
Okay.
Holy shit.
So Eartha, your spell scroll is for any spell you want. Unfortunately, it's a cantrip.
Oh.
So
any
one
cantrip,
cantrip. Yeah, so from any class.
If you don't want it, Ellis, I'll take it, because I could just learn a cantrip. I could just write it down. I could just learn it as a wizard.
So Anya, would you like the Sentinel Shield? Is that something you like, or do you not want it?
I think that's something that's very useful.
Yeah. So if you just write down on your sheet Sentinel Shield, and I'll fill it in later.
How do you spell it?
SENTINELSHIELD. Obviously, 2 words. Sentinel Shield. And then I'll go in and fill that in later. So yeah, if you can pick any spell, be that like Druid, Wizard, Bard, any cantrip.
You know what?
Mhm.
I will pass this to Samara and leave him to decide what it is, and I'm gonna start taking my armor off.
Yeah, fair enough. Leave it to dry in the sun.
No, that's something different.
Okay. So
armor's heavy to swim in.
Oh, very good. Okay. So Eartha hands you the spell scroll, and he says he doesn't know what it is. Obviously, you can decide what it is. So once you've decided, just write spell scroll of blank in your. Or if you don't want to, because I think you had scrolls before. If you have somewhere you'd rather put it, you can just put it there.
I've used all my scrolls, I believe, but I'll figure it out, and I may just make it my own and just say it.
Yeah. No worries.
The staff.
So this is I haven't found it yet, but it is a staff of striking. This does require attunement. This staff can be wielded as a magic quarterstaff that grants a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. The staff has 10 charges. When you hit with a melee attack using it, you can expend up to 3 of its charges. For each charge you expend, the target takes an extra 1d6 force damage. The staff regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the staff becomes a non-magical quarterstaff. So it's essentially a staff made for hitting.
Yeah, that's good money.
I was going to say, if you don't want it, we can always sell it.
Yeah, it's good money.
It is very rare, so besides from that is legendary and artifact, so it's probably pretty...
What's it called? I'll write it down.
The staff of just staff of striking. Yeah, if you write it in your sheet, I'll put it in and maybe put a thing next to it.
Yeah, I'll write it down into my Google Drive.
Alright, am I stripped?
Yeah, so Eartha, as he hands you this spell scroll, Eartha, you kind of pull some of the latches on your armor, and your pauldrons, and your breastplate, and your greaves just kind of fall to the ground as you keep pulling them until you're just in like your soaked underclothes, like your I forgot what it's called, like your brigandine that's made for under the armor, and like so you just kind of like you're in your normal brigandine and from underneath.
I'm assuming I remember where I saw that man-made object.
Yeah, so if you look at the map, or even if you don't, so like I said, this bridge has like stairs on either end that go up to it, and in the water, and like even onto the side a bit, it has like 2 arcs that like the water goes through, where like the 2 arcs meet, and like a pillar goes into the water. To the left of the bridge, near that pillar, you saw some sort of man-made thing, something with very jagged edges that you think is probably man-made.
I will dive in and see how close I can get to it.
Yeah, so you go to the middle of the bridge and you hop off. About 8 feet down. You don't really need to make a check or anything because you're right there and it's not very dangerous water. There is a chest, about like not like a chest that all the. Oh, sorry, God, I didn't even say. So there was 2 chests that you dragged out, Samura. So they are filled with coins. There is both of the chests are just brimming with coins. Eartha, would you like to put them in the bag of holding, or
should we pile them up with the rest of the gold?
Yeah, may as well.
So Eartha, there's 364 copper pieces.
Oh, I didn't know there were copper as well. Oh shit, great. How many copper?
364. 238 silver pieces.
Right.
19 electrum pieces.
Right.
127 gold pieces.
Probably should have added that. Yeah.
And 4 platinum pieces.
Okay.
So cutting back, you probably did that before, kind of emptying these chests into the bag of holding, like madmen, and then you went to the bridge, jumped in. So you see a chest, not like a huge chest, not as big as the ones with the coins. Kind of imagine like a Skyrim wooden chest. That's like the size of those ones. Mm-hmm. This one is like not small, not like a lockbox, but like a small, like the same kind of style wooden chest with metal hinges and stuff. But it's kind of like this big. Imagine like the size of a D&D book being the lid, and
so decent
it's kind of Yeah, it's not tiny. It's kind of submerged half in the wet clay and sand and mud and silt underneath the water. So you think to get it out, it would require a little bit of strength to actually get it to the surface.
We'll give it a go. That's what I'm down here for.
Go for it. Make a strength check with disadvantage.
How long can I hold my breath for?
As long as your Constitution plus that in minutes. 1 plus your Constitution.
When I'm copying a spell scroll, do they have to be wizard spells, or can I learn any spell?
I think it has to be wizard spells. I'm pretty sure.
Did you say disadvantage?
Yeah, just because you're underwater.
That's a 16 because I rolled a 12 and a 13 plus a 4.
16. You bubbles begin to. So you guys, as you guys are like finishing sorting stuff out, Samurai Jade kind of taps you on the shoulder and points at the water as you see a bunch of bubbles hitting the surface. You kind of, it kind of budges a bit. You've gotten it out of the sand for the most part, but it's not super heavy to your surprise. But give me one more strength check, either with disadvantage or -5. You have to choose before you roll.
So -5. I still get my +4, so really it's just a -1.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Sure.
14.
14. You with one arm, you kind of pull it up to you, and you like wrap an arm around it, and you begin to like swim back up towards the shore, and you kind of drag yourself out onto the shore, and you place it in the sand, kind of stand up with it. Yeah. So you retrieve this small wooden and iron chest that had been. Make an intelligence check. Actually, wait. I'll save that for a second.
I mean, I won't cast it. I'm just gonna. I've chose friends as the spell scroll, and I'm just gonna learn it. So I'm just gonna go get in the cart and just start learning it.
Okay, fair enough.
Can we put the chests in the back of the cart? I know it sounds bad, but can we keep them?
Yeah.
Great.
Get Jade to do it.
Yeah, so Jade picks up both of the unlocked chests and puts them in, pushes them towards the driver's end of the cart. Yeah, what are you doing with the one you just found?
Is it locked?
Do you want to go ahead and try and open it?
Yes.
It is locked. Make an intelligence.
Unnatural 20.
Natural. Unnatural or natural?
Unnatural.
Unnatural. It is locked, and you kind of take 2 minutes to have a look around for a key. It is locked very tight. You can't really get. You try and try and break it open like you've done probably with a lot of locks, and it just won't open.
Can I pull out those symbols and just make sure there's not a key on that?
Sure. You look through them all. No, none of them appear to be any sort of key that
cast dispel magic on it.
You reach out your hands and cast dispel magic, and a little bit of essence kind of flies away from it. Yeah. A white kind of powder kind of flies off into the
I'll open the box.
So Samara, now realize this was a magic chest. So it required a specific, either a specific spell or a specific school of magic spell to be cast as with the chest as its target to be unlocked. Like a spell or like some kind of spell was the key. Dispel magic or an anti-magic field make it inert, but it is now still physically locked. So the actual physical lock mechanism kicks in. So you will either have to break the lock off or pick it open to get inside.
Break it.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think this is your job.
Yeah, I'll take my sword hilt out and just give it a good bashing. Is that the right way?
Taking the sword hilt, giving it a bash. Sure. Make an attack roll.
16.
16 hits. Roll damage.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Technically, I'm one-handing this sword, aren't I? So so it'll be a D8. Damn it. 8 plus 5. So
8 plus 5.
Yes. 13.
13. So you kind of hold the kind of the blade in a specific way, and you kind of as the lid kind of flies open, rests easily on the back. Inside, you see a spell scroll. This one looks older. The parchment is a deep brownish yellow, and it has an iron clasp on it. It looks unlocked, but it has like an iron clasp on it. This one has a bit more fanfare about it than the cantrip scroll you just found underneath the bridge. Mm-hmm. And also, so it's kind of like it's been waterlogged. Obviously, water has gotten into the chest, even through the magical seal. But there is the remains of what was a nice velvet rest. Like the chest isn't full; it's quite near the roof, and there's been a platform put inside and a velvet cloth placed down for the scroll and an arrow.
I'll pick them both up, and then I'll try and see if the velvet moves to see if it's hiding, if there's anything hiding underneath it in the rest of the chest.
You pick up the scroll and the arrow and you place them to the side, and you pull up the velvet and you move everything. Make an investigation check.
Not good. 13.
13. Yeah, you feel pretty confident. This is
It's less of a hiding mechanic, it's more of a show-off type thing.
This would probably have been maybe left open somewhere, with the lid open. Then, in cases of travel, it would have been closed and the magical lock activated and stuff. You get the sense that it's very much just for these two items, or whatever else was placed in it at one time, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to get in the cart and identify them.
Sure. So as you guys head off, we'll sort out, driver and lookout and whatever.
I mean, I think it's not my turn to drive. We've already got part
yeah,
way.
right, yeah. So Irtha will finish off his driving, and you've already done your looking. Probably by similar time as you left Suzail. It's about dead on 2 days travel. So you're looking at early evening, late afternoon. Today you should probably be arriving at Hilp about half a day ahead of so midday after you so you'll arrive there later on today. The day after at midday, you're expecting, unless the Hawklands know exactly where they're going, if they've seen the map, instead of going to Hilp and then to the place. Which you guys can do. If you want, you can go off-road, but the horses and the cart might not fare so well. So either they're going to go to Hilp and be there at midday tomorrow, or they might end up at wherever they're going a little bit past midday. You're not entirely sure. You guys get on the cart and you help kind of fasten it up. There are kind of divots in the stairs for cart wheels to go up, as you push it up there, and then you get it across, and you're now on the other side of the river with Salty, Black Pudding, the wagon, your new little horde, and Samara. You cast Identify, did you say?
Yeah, the scroll and the arrow.
So you kind of hold them in front of you, and as you finish the spell, the ritual casting, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You kind of hold the arrow up. This is a single arrow of dragon slaying. So if when fired with any kind of bow, magical or non-otherwise, and it hits a dragon, it deals a bunch of extra damage to creatures whose type is dragon, and then it becomes a normal arrow. Once that magic has been used, it just becomes a normal arrow. And the scroll is a scroll of time stop. As you hold it, you kind of drop it. That Dominate Monster spell you'd found was powerful. It was 8th level. You have just held a 9th level spell in your hand, and you drop it to the ground in front of you, feeling its kind of power crackle through you. You kind of just blink at it a few times as it just bobs on the floor of the cart for a few moments. So just to quickly, just so we're all on the same page about this, I will.
I looked at this spell a week ago.
Yeah, I'll read it out for everyone, just so everyone is aware. So an arrow of slaying. So you get many kinds of arrows of slaying. So an arrow of slaying is a magic weapon meant to slay a particular kind of creature. Some are more focused than others. For example, there are both arrows of dragon slaying and arrows of blue dragon slaying. So you can get ones that only work on blue dragons, ones that work on dragons, ones that work on giants, ones that work on blah blah blah. If a creature belonging to the type, race, or group associated with an arrow of slaying takes damage from the arrow, the creature must make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw, taking an extra 6d10 piercing damage on a failed save, or half as much extra damage on a successful one. Once an arrow of slaying deals its extra damage to a creature, it becomes a non-magical arrow. Other types of magic ammunition of this kind exist, such as bolts of slaying meant for a crossbow, though arrows are most common. So that's the arrow of dragon slaying. And time stop, which is more powerful than the dominate monster spell you used against the Kraken. Time stop. You briefly stop the flow of time for everyone but yourself, so the caster. No time passes for other creatures. No time passes for other creatures while you take 1d4 plus 1 turns in a row, during which you can use actions and move as normal. This spell ends if one of the actions you use during this period, or any effects that you create during this period, affects a creature other than you, or an object being worn or carried by someone other than you. In addition, the spell ends if you move to a place more than 1,000 feet from the location where you cast it. So it's probably one of the less powerful 9th level spells, because you can't use it to just unleash attacks at something or steal something from someone without it ending, but you could use it to get the fuck away from somewhere.
Can you repeat? Sorry, was it ends if? I know that it ends if you affect someone, but does it also end if you affect something?
Something that someone else is. So affects a creature other than you, or an object being worn or carried by someone other than you.
Right.
So if it's an object in someone, if you just affected an object, any object, that's fine. But if it's being worn or carried by someone, it would also. So if you tried to pickpocket someone or steal something from someone, the spell would also end after you do that.
Right.
So it's 1d4 1 turns in a row. So at best, it stops time for 30 seconds. So you could sneak past a bunch of people, walk past a bunch of people, or you could get away from somewhere. So it's probably but still, Samurai, recognizing it is probably objectively one of the less powerful 9th level spells. The time is a very dangerous thing, and you recognize it as very powerful. Eartha, just cutting back to what I was going to say before, you kind of guess that what's happened here is somebody gave Mister that chest as the toll of passage, fully probably assuming he wouldn't be able to get in, and then they were going to come back for it later. And Mister, not being able to get in, just kind of lobbed it in the river, probably out of anger. So that's kind of what you assume happened. Samurai, is there anything you'd like to do or anything like that?
It was a bow. Jess has a crossbow, but that won't work. Ellis, do you have a bow?
I actually think I do.
I'm going to give it to Ellis.
I mean, I'm literally just going to put it in the bag of holding.
Then I'm going to keep it on me.
But I do have bows in. I do have bows in my the bag of holding as well.
I'm going to keep both on me.
Okay.
Oh, I've got an idea.
No, you don't. Put him in the bag of holding. I don't trust you.
Bad idea.
It's a good idea. It's a really good idea.
It's a samurai idea. Shut up. Put him in the bag of holding.
No, I need the arrow. It's a really good idea.
What's the arrow for? What are you going to do with
it? Because it works with a spell.
You mean it works with a spell?
Don't you worry about it.
You don't have a bow. You can't use a bow.
I don't need a bow to hurt someone with an arrow.
He's saying he can stab someone with it.
Does it not specifically say a shot from though?
Well, that's wording I'd need to look at and discuss with Brad, but that's...
I think I wouldn't necessarily enforce that, because it's, the whole point is once the arrow is used, then the damage is gone from it, so it doesn't really matter.
It's the arrow which is magical, not the bow. So, just,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes, so the arrow, it just says, an arrow of slaying is a magic weapon meant to slay a particular kind. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily specify it has to be fired, so I would let you stab a dragon with it as well, like a needle.
Like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, like a pain needle. So yeah. Is there anything else anyone would like to do, or are you guys just
Long rest on the way to the town. The rest of the journey.
sure? Eartha, Anya, anything else?
Well, if we're having a long rest.
Yeah, well, you gotta drive, mate.
Oh, you bitch! I forgot. I was gonna say if he's long rest, I'm not gonna drive.
So, yeah, I mean, you can pull over if you want. If you want to get a rest in, and you can.
What time of day is it?
Right now it's probably like it's about it was about midday when you were coming up on the bridge, so it's probably about 1.
Nah, I'm happy just to drive through. If they want to rest, they can rest. I'll just keep us going.
I'm also gonna put before I start resting, as I have the spell slots, I'm gonna put 3 charges of shield into my Ioun stone.
Mm-hmm.
Just got them.
Make an intelligence check with advantage, just because I'm gonna based on what you get, I'm gonna tell you something. You don't necessarily. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying this probably would occur to Eartha. I'm not saying it's a good idea or a bad idea. So what did you get?
19.
19. As you're kind of driving away, you kind of look back. If there wasn't a bridge there, they would have to ford the river, which might slow down the other.
It's a stone bridge, isn't it?
It's a big, bulky bridge. It would be very difficult to do anything to, and probably on such a major trade route, you know, there might be people hunting you for it. If anyone could figure out it was you or prove that it was you, but if it wasn't there, you think it would add an extra few hours, as they would each have to individually ford the river or look for a better crossing point.
It has one stone pillar in the middle, doesn't it? Holding it up, or a few.
One, but like we're talking like 20-foot wide, 10-foot thick. We're talking about like not less of a pillar, more of where the 2 archways meet, like flat, long.
Do I have any explosives?
I have an idea for you. I mean, I have an large.
I was just checking if I had any explosives, because I can't remember if I had any. Because I remember I picked up a bunch of random stuff along the way. Don't have drugs anymore, though. There you go.
Yeah, I could enlarge you, which would definitely give you an edge. Do we have a bomb? I feel like I can make a bomb.
I don't have a. That's what I was just checking for.
I have gunpowder.
Do you?
I think. No, I have sulfur. Sorry.
That's on the way to making gunpowder.
Yeah, but I have sulfur for fireball.
Oh. You have fireball?
Yeah. No, I don't have any spell slots 3rd level.
Oh, you bitch.
But fireball isn't going to take it down. It's just a bunch of fire against brick. I could enlarge you, and you could try and, punch a couple bricks out, or shield bash a couple bricks out. If you could
I'll leave that with you guys, and we'll pick up there next week, and you guys can you can have a week to think about if that's something you want to do, or if you want to just keep going, get ahead.